Now you fucking behave properly, you asshole. Microsoft. Quit fucking changing my background.
Terwyl die wêreld vinnig draai, hulle hou van die eysterfees, die partylyn so streng, terwyl hulle ons na die bouvalle van die tempel bring. Hulle waap! Al die pad na Teheran, saam op die bandwagon, tot ziens aan die reënboog, met spookachtige ster. Ons hart loop al die pad na
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming, it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Well, apologies for that. Proves that technology is just shit. Once again, apologies for that. Microphone was turned off, but apparently it was on. So, State Security Agency, if you get your ass out of my PC, it'd be really nice. Hey, fuck off, State Security Agency for South Africa. Get the hell out of my computer. Tired of your bullshit. Yeah, it's Microsoft. It's you know, this streaming software. For the past 2 weeks, every time I open it up, it has a tiny little window on the side for the chat. And I have to adjust, and then it screws everything up. I have to readjust everything while I'm waiting for it to start. the background wallpaper. Otherwise, you have blank screen and half a wall screen. I have just everything. Suddenly this morning, it works properly. The chat window is the same size I left it as, so I can read your chat. But the microphone is on, even though it's off. See, this microphone isn't supposed to be on unless it's lit. Now, let's see if it's actually on now. It's lit. Yeah, that's why, I don't trust the camera when the lights are out. I don't trust the microphone when the microphone is off, but I'm hacking. I couldn't avoid that. Sorry for that. No, I don't sound very good at all. I'm very ill, and I have been very ill, and apologies for not having broadcast, but let's get you up to date on that. First off, for those who seem to think I've disappeared, I haven't disappeared. I did a Night Owls on Friday night. I was sick as of Wednesday. I did a Night Owls Wednesday when I was sick. I did a news on Thursday, an interview on Thursday, and then I did Night Owls on Thursday. I did the news on Friday, interview on Friday, and Night Owls on Friday. Saturday, I did my interview with Biz News, and then I didn't do the rugby, which is just as well because I didn't have the energy for it. But I didn't miss any stream on this channel. So, oh my goodness, we got, hang on a second here. What's going on? I didn't do the news on this channel. Sorry, so I don't do the news when I have the rugby. So I didn't really miss any broadcasts on Saturday because Saturday night I don't do a live stream. I don't do a Night Owls. Sunday, I didn't miss any streams because, as I mentioned before time, I had responsibilities for veterans. I had to go to the Purse Bingo setup and then the execution of Purse Bingo at the Veterans Club. And from there, I had to depart while that was ongoing to go to a district meeting about a 45-minute drive south of here. I went to that, didn't get home till 6 p.m. So I didn't miss. The only one I missed was last night's Night Owls. I just didn't have the energy to do it last night, so I skipped last night. So, yeah, anyway, thanks for your patience and for showing up for the news on a Monday. Good to see you guys there. Anyway, so, yesterday I got up to leave and I was in, my back was killing me because I've been lying down for so much, for so many hours, which I'm not accustomed to, and not exercising at all, not even walking, that my lower back got weakened and I was sore and I was limping yesterday, and people said, "Is your hip bothering you?" And I'm like, no, my hip is fine. My hip's not bothering me at all. It's my back. I can't walk. Anyway, thank you all for the good thoughts and for hoping that I'm feeling better. Well, thank you, Spartan God, for saying I was missed. Appreciate that. Yeah, no. I the moment I start to feel better, I just not necessarily feeling better, but anyway, it's not been a heavy one. It's not. You can hear the congestion, obviously. Right now, my sinus is very congested at the moment. Was starting. I'm unsubscribed. Huh? You got unsubscribed? Yeah. Getting old is not for Ian. I've been sicker than this when I was in my 20s. This is not. Yeah, the hip. Yeah, it's hip to be square. Yeah, the hip might be the part of getting old, but that's not even getting old. I'm not breaking down because I'm getting old. That's an army injury that's just come back to haunt me eventually because I didn't get proper care in the army for 35 years. Told the army I needed care, and they just ignored me all those years. Chris Meitberg just gave me Danish kroner. Well, Chris, thank you for that. Wow, we got viewers in Denmark. That's exciting. Good to see you, man. I didn't realize you're in Denmark. I never realized. I love Denmark. Great place. Despite the Greenland tiff. My goodness. Okay. Kidney's not good. I'm sorry to hear that, Amanda. I hope that it can... pretty cold in Denmark. Well, okay. Well, it's pretty warm here at 63, but it's springtime. But it is going to get colder here in a couple days. It's supposed to get 78 later in the week, and then it's going to drop to 48 the next day. It's crazy. Alan says, just let me see me a tough old fart. Well, I've never been called old until Ronaldo started calling me old. Maybe it's time for the beard to go. Shave the beard off. People keep calling me old. I might have to get rid of the beard. I mean, I'm looking at, I watched, when I wasn't feeling well, I'll get to the news in just a few moments, folks. Please bear with me. We'll get to the news. In order to try to rest, I put on the live stream, and I was watching Benidorm. For those of you who know the British sitcom Benidorm, I was watching the season where Trudy is on there, the redhead, and the woman in there is like 45 years old. And I'm looking at that lady's face, and wow, the news just gave 700 Rand. Thank you for that 700 Rand. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yes, shave the beard, says Joe. So the lady Trudy at 45 has more wrinkles even than I am sick today, and looks worse at 45 when it was filmed 10, 15 years ago than I do today, much older than that. So, and she had a heck of a body, but she had a rough face. Yeah, so he asked what I'm making for supper. I told him dogwood. Oh, Dagwood. Dagwood. Okay, gotcha. It's 2 L's for investors. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's what happens when you're concentration. It sure does. 2 has 2 I's. You said 2 L's, 2 I's. Typos. What kills me is it didn't even catch that when I spelled it. Thank you. Speaking of, I'll give you one more story before we get into the news. Yesterday, when I went to the veterans thing, I drove down and I gave myself an hour and a half to take a half-hour drive because I was planning on going to get some petrol and buy some supplies at the discount warehouse. They have one down in York. So I headed down to York, and so what happened was I headed down and I forgot that they're repairing a bridge. Mm-hmm. Yes, they're reinforcing a bridge, just reaching inspections. They said it's time to do it. So it's been down for months, and I've been down that way in a while. So as I left here and left with plenty of time, I get, and it says detour, bridge out 1.58 miles, 2.5 miles away. Crap. So, hang on a second. Oh, what's going on there? Okay. So I had to go around. That added 20 minutes to the trip. Well, now my time was short. I'm having the flu. I'm congested. I'm distracted. I get to the discount place, and if you go inside and you buy certain goods, sometimes they give you extra money off of the petrol pump. So I'm like, let me go inside and buy the drinks and stuff that I need first. So as I'm getting out of the car, the guy pulls up and he goes, man, you'll never believe it. I said, what? He says, yeah, I just got gas. I said, yeah. He said, yeah, they changed the price. I said, well, they're bound to. The prices are going up. No, while I was at the pump, I was the next person. They came out and they changed the price. I had to pay 30 cents more for a gallon of gas. I'm like, well, that sucks. And I'm thinking, shoot, if I'd come earlier instead of going to the veterans organization, I would have saved 30 cents. So that's out the window. So I went inside and I wanted to get some Doritos, but they're at the front, not in the place where they're supposed to be where the snacks are. So I didn't want to carry the bag in front, so I just ignored it. And then I forgot about it. It was one of the reasons why I went. I went and finally found all the drinks. I couldn't find everything. And then while I'm in there, there's if you spend $150, you get $10 off. Well, I'm not going to spend $150, but I did need some tea. I had a tea. And the tea also had a coupon. So I found the tea. It took a while. It was in the last freaking row I looked at, of course, which is the last row it could have been. It was in an odd place because this warehouse is designed differently than the other ones. So I found the tea. I loaded up on cases of that. And then I've got 2 books, interesting books, and I bought some pistachios, and I was over the $150 with all that together. I'm like, okay, got it. So I go ring it up, and it comes out under $150, like $148. I'm like, huh? The coupons for the tea came off, and it lowered it below $150, so I didn't get the $10 off. I didn't have the time. My head was foggy. If I hadn't been foggy, I probably would have realized the coupons, but I didn't, so I missed out on the $10 because my head was foggy. Walked outside, and also when I was inside, there was a sign that said, if you spend $150, get 50 cents off a gallon of gasoline. I'm like, that's a super deal. So now I'm really bummed out. I didn't get the $10, plus I'm not going to get the gasoline off. So I went out, and I got in line for the petrol, and I got my petrol, and I pumped it. I'm like, is that right? It gave me the 50 cents off. So I got the 50 cents off after all. Anyway, so what happens when your head is foggy. Anyway, so my head was a little bit foggy. And another one, yeah. No, the Bormices actually prefer the beard. All right, let's see what the poll says. You guys are going to take... See, this is the OGs have been here longest now, so... Beard. Well, I tell you what, with this poll, if I shave the beard off, that Johan Sloot clown might want to, I'll never leave me alone. That gay dude is so in love with me. He's so obsessed with me. You know he's watching right now. Probably got his hands around something special part of his appendage there. Yep, so there you go. All right, so that's up. Super chats are coming now, so let me turn the alerts back on now that we've given out 1,000 memberships. Thank you for that, by the way. There's the alert box. Okay, so... Thank you, Sami, for the 40 Rand, and thank you, Francois, for the 14 Rand. Hope you feel better. Hope it's great to see you relatively. Yeah, I'm relatively okay, but that's because I got a lot of sleep. I can get consecutive. Most I can sleep is like 2 hours, but I got 2 hours and up for a couple hours, 2 hours, up for a couple hours. Just shave it off. My vote's no secret here, says Wills. Yeah, you've been here forever saying that, Wills. All right, so a trademark. Yeah, it is a trademark now, if that's the problem. Whether I like it or not, it's become a trademark. Anyway, so I'll apologize ahead of time if my analysis or if my attention sways a little bit during this broadcast because I'm a bit under the weather. But we're going to get to news in just a moment for those who've been very patient. Thank you. I just want to say that I saw once again where hate wankers are publishing things. Someone published something in a group and called me fake news because taking something completely out of context, and even the content that they took out of context is taken out of the context it was presented in. First off, for those of you who remember, when the news was announced that there was a pause in the refugee program, remember that? And I didn't have that confirmed yet. And people asked me to analyze it. It was during my news. The news popped up on me. I had a news broadcast and a refugee interview right after that. And I had literally 5 minutes between that. I went out on the porch and I said, listen, the U.S. government is decisively engaged in other things. There is a pending attack in Iran. They'll likely attack Iran very soon. So that may have something to do with they got their attention focused elsewhere. People lied and said that I said that the planes are on the route and that would interfere. I never said that. That's a lie. Never made that claim. In fact, I refuted that when a couple people in my chat suggested that. They took that and called that fake news and accused me of terrifying people in America. Nobody in America is terrified. Virtually nobody in America saw that video. My US viewership is very small and it's comprised largely at this stage of those with interest in South Africans. So that's just a lie. It's also fake news. That was also not news. That was analysis. So calling it fake news, you can call it poor analysis. You can call it dishonest analysis. It's not that, but you call it poor analysis. But even that's not the case because it was speculation. And I made clear at the point. After having done the refugee interview and having 1 hour to sit down and look at the facts and information available, what I determined is most likely what it is that the program needed to be reset. They need to look at it to audit the program to make sure that the problems are being fixed. And son of a gun, guess what? Then when I had less than an hour of analytical time, that's what I came up with, and that's exactly what the pause in the program was. People are flying again today. So there you go. But see, they don't tell you that because they're scumbags. Scumbags and hate wankers. That's what they do. They spread lies about people and they take stuff out of context. So, pathetic, Johan Sloot, I know you're there, buddy. I know you're there. So, take a moment, climb off that phallus tool that you've stuck under your bottom there that you're currently vibrating on and pay attention. I don't know where you get the lie that I'm unemployed. I'm not unemployed. Technically, I'm retired. But I'm not retired. I work 7 days a week. You may have missed that. I have a consultancy, and I make money in my consultancy. And I also do news. This is also a side piece of what I do in that business consulting. So I don't know where you get the unemployed thing. And I also don't get the whole gay thing. What are you talking about? Maybe you're not familiar with the English language, but the word gay has been appropriated by the homosexual community, but it also means happy and frolicking. That means those things. And in the context we used it in, that's exactly what it meant. So I realize that maybe there's a little too much pressure on your prostate at the moment, but if you relieve the pressure in your prostate, the blood will flow to your brain and you will be able to think clearly and stop spreading lies about me. Dude, one day, somewhere, you're going to piss somebody off and you're going to regret it. It's just really stupid. 2 hip replacements, that sort of thing. No. See, Villa Fundimeva, you don't understand. The reason my back is sore has nothing to do with my hip. It's because I've been lying down for a couple days most of the time. And so the muscle in my lower back is sore and weak. I pulled a muscle. It's as simple as that. I've walked around a bit yesterday and I walked around this morning and it doesn't hurt so much. And my back is not, yes, I know your hips can affect your back, but that's not the problem here. Yep. Anyway, so there you have it. So, all right, it's time for the news now. For those of you who've hung around and been patiently waiting for the news. All right, so how many people voted in this poll? 300 votes. Wow, it's almost even. I'm going to stop it here before I lose. Wow, that's close. That's the closest we've ever had it. I had to stop the poll. I had 300 votes. That's good. It's a good sample. So half want it to stay, half want it to go. So it looks like half of you, nobody will be satisfied, but all of you will get something as I trim it. It's time for a trim anyway. So whoever you call gay was very hopeful. I know, Neil. Johan Sloot is gay apparently and really, really, really wants to date me. The dude is so envious. Well, Zeke, you had 10 minutes to vote. The poll was open for 10 minutes. It was 10 minutes. Yeah, that's what gay means. Anyway, so beard looks intimidating. Yeah, it has worked very well in certain circumstances. Intimidating beard. How about a short trim? Yeah, there you go. Okay, all right. Keep half your beard. There you go, Francois. That's halfway. Meeting people halfway. Another trim. Wills. Well, nothing's going to happen right now. Yeah, exactly. Mr. Magoo says retired souls deserve beards. Yeah, we're not allowed to grow them that whole life. Half is fair. Okay, let's get to the news, folks. I know you were here for the news, not just the the nonsense and the chatting, although I appreciate that. I enjoy it. Well, that's for the night owls. Okay, let's get to the first story here. South Africa has a record sell-off in foreign investors. We've been listening to the President Cyril Ramaphosa and the ANC and the government SU to try to convince people the South African economy is on the mend. We're off the grade list from the financial task team. Ooh, the economy is growing. It's not. Ooh, things are better. Ooh, they're not. Unemployment, as you can ask Kusatu, is still above 40%. The real unemployment rate is well above 40%. And the economy is in a shambles. The economy is not growing. And as I said, the big losers in what's coming now are China and its friends, China specifically, but one of its friends is South Africa, as the price of oil will spike and crush South Africa's economy. As a consequence, foreign investors dumped South Africa's bonds, something that Trump could have done to South Africa over the past year. He could have crippled the bond market. He didn't do it, but investors did it over the weekend. On Friday, they dumped the bonds. Reserve Bank ready to act after record foreign selling of South Africa bonds. Okay, let me explain what dumping of bonds means. When you sell stocks or bonds, you usually have a set price that you want to sell them at, or you sell them at market price. When people put a set price, and let's say I have a stock that's worth $100, I want $110. So if it rises $110, I set the price at 110. That's the strike price. So when the price hits 110, they automatically execute that order and sell it to whoever's paying 110. If I'm selling it short, I want it to go down, then if I don't want to lose money, say it's at 100, and I say I don't want to lose any money below 95, I say sell at 95, okay? Well, dumping bonds means you sell at the market price. When you put something out there, and you offer your bond for sale, if you take whatever's offered, then that's the market price. When most of the orders come in at market price, people are selling things off, and it drives down the value of that bond. And it drives up the interest rate, by the way, what the return the person gets. It doesn't change the fixed rate on it, but it does change the rate of return because they're paying less for the bond. Bonds are traded in the secondary market, and the foreign investors are dumping the bonds because South Africa's economy is a shambles. Especially with the price of oil going up, people can know better than the lies of the South African Reserve Bank, of Enoch Gondwana, of the ANC. They know better. All right, so South Africa's central bank said its monitoring market would take action in the event, which means they'll buy bonds. But they have no money to buy bonds. They just borrow more money from the World Bank. The benchmark government 10-year jumped 36 basis points Monday, taking its rise since the start of the war with Iran to more than 90 points. The most in this, that's almost 1%. The most in a similar period since March of 2020 when COVID lockdown started. Back then, the South African Reserve Bank stepped in as a buyer of government bonds, but as liquidity dried up, nobody was buying their bonds. So there's a glut of bonds on the market. No one wants them, so the rate is going down, rate of return. Central bank has a number of tools at disposal to the situation repeat itself. South African financial markets generally very resilient to shocks. They're very well functioning, and by well functioning, we don't mean prices will not go up, but what we want you to is a price. What you want is price discovery to happen, please. Yeah. And so we're constantly monitoring financial markets. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about this. These things were dropped big time. Foreign investors drive the rally downward. We're net sellers of $18.2 billion of debt on Friday, the most in records dating back to 1996. Wow. Traders have priced out any chance of a rate cut when policymakers meet later this month. They're now positioning for hikes after that. Forward rate agreements are pricing in about 40% chance of a 25% base or 25 basis point increase by year end. Yep, there you go. So it's not good. Not good to see. So they can tell us things are great, but the real investors will tell you how the economy really is. When people fail to put money into an economy, it means it's not good or it has a bad outlook or they fear a bad outlook. The United States, by contrast, there's over $20 trillion of investment coming our way. $20 trillion of investment promised to come to America. Yeah, $20 trillion. Professor G posted a 2-hour video. It was taken down by YouTube for violence, compilation of threats from social media. Well, I didn't see that. Interesting. Yeah, well, Professor G is treading on thin ice with his titles and in some of his videos with YouTube. YouTube is not very forgiving. You can't tell the truth on YouTube all the time. Only some of the truth is allowed to get out. That's why when you see me in person, you hear a much more caustic assessment of some events, because here you lose your platform. The World Bank has just given South Africa another $160 billion to boost infrastructure. Enoch Gondwana wants it to be operational by later this year, the GVC. That is the credit guarantee vehicle. The government is preparing to unlock billions of rand infrastructure program after the World Bank approved a new credit guarantee mechanism aimed at drawing private capital into the country's strained electricity, logistics, and water systems. Yeah, interesting. The World Bank's going to give them another 160 billion rand. Wow. 350 million in financing from the International Bank of Reconstruction and Development, which is what the World Bank was initially, to capitalize the credit facility through the government of South Africa and support pipeline development implementation capacity. Wow. And here the truth comes out. The mechanism comes as South Africa struggles to accelerate economic growth and tackle persistent unemployment. The economy expanded an average rate of less than 1% over the past decade, while joblessness remains above 30%. Actually, according to COSATU, it's above 40%. Yeah, COSATU, which has no dog in the fight as far as protecting the ANC. Well, actually they do. They're part of the tripartite alliance, so why would they lie? Yeah, 160 billion rand to steal, exactly. That's more money. By the way, who is the single largest voter in the World Bank? Does anybody know who has the largest vote? Who determines who? Basically, they determine who gets a loan, who doesn't get a loan. One country determines who will. They have all the weight in the World Bank. Anybody know the IMF and World Bank? One country. Yeah. Yes, that's correct, USA. So last time I checked, we heard from the South African media, from the Daily Maverick, from Newsroom Africa, from IOL, from Cockprot24, from Cyril Ramaphosa, from Gwede Mantashe. What do we hear from these people around the world? The United States is being aggressive towards South Africa. The United States is harming South Africa. The United States what actions against South Africa are we taking? Yet again, it's the second World Bank loan in less than 3 months. What are they talking about? Aggressive action. If the United States wanted aggressive action towards South Africa, there would be no World Bank loan. There would be no World Bank loan. They would veto it. So, this poppycock that you keep hearing about the United States being against South Africa is ridiculous. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Anna. Snakes, bad news, man. That sucks. Deputy Secretary of Defense, Deputy Minister of Defense, Bantu Holomisa has given the Defense Secretary 2 weeks to explain a R500 million vehicle tender controversy. The Acting Secretary of Defense, Tobikile Gameda, has to provide feedback within 2 weeks on a 500 million tender to supply new vehicles to border protection for the South African National Defense Force. Bantu Holomisa, the Deputy Minister of Defense, wrote in a letter to Gameda that she must also explain why the tender for the vehicles was awarded to MICOR, despite alleged negative findings. According to the letter, both Arms Corps' technical evaluation team and the internal audit group allegedly found defects in the awarding process. City Press sister publication Rapport reported last year on the controversy awarding the contract, which was this company's never manufactured any significant military vehicles locally. The first versions of the command section ambulance variants of the vehicles were supposed to be delivered by this month, but they haven't been. Holomisa's intervention follows complaints to him by other experienced vehicle manufacturers who were on the short list as candidates. Some of them have already obtained legal advice. Some of the suppliers on the short list were earlier invited by Arms Corps to participate in field tests. However, this was canceled after MICOR allegedly objected. According to the aggrieved supplier's letter, the contract was awarded without any prototypes. 4 months later, there was a stacked display of the chosen vehicles for Arms Corps' evaluation team, while the contract stipulated the first vehicles should be delivered within 90 days of the award. The Deputy Minister, Holomisa, says there appear to be contradictions between the actual state of affairs and the answers that Arms Corps previously gave to Angie Mocheka. Well. There you go. More BEE, more let's enrich black cadres at the expense of South Africans and the military. Send the troops into the Congo with no body armor, no tents, no medevac helicopters, no resources, no training. Let's just send them to their deaths. We'll send them on the border to their deaths as they get killed by Zimbabweans and Swazis sliding across the border, Mozambicans. Yep. Smoke and mirrors, that's what it is. Cape Town Taxi Association's on the march again and halts Nyanga services amid shootings and tensions. Thousands of commuters expect to be stranded today after the Cape Amalgamated Taxi Association announced that its taxis in Nyanga would not operate. Taxi operators plan to march to the Nyanga police station to demand progress in several unsolved shooting cases. Thousands of commuters are stuck. Yep. The Cape Amalgamated Taxi Association said drivers would not operate following a meeting on Sunday. It was not an easy decision to take, but due to safety issues, not just for operators, but for commuters, the decision was taken not to operate. Well, that's not good. That is not good. That is not good. Oh, dear God. What the hell? This just got published. Farmer survives brutal attack by livestock thieves and suffers multiple head injuries. Okay, I'm not going to show you the picture. He's bloody. I'll just show you the shirt. There you go. That's crazy. 3 men appeared in Lambert's Bay Magistrates Court Monday in connection with attempted murder of a farmer who was brutally attacked after confronting alleged stock thieves. Farmer Hugo Lowe was assaulted on his farm near Lambert's Bay after confronting individuals who were in the process of slaughtering sheep on his land. Allegedly assaulted him with knives, a spade, and other dangerous weapons before leaving him severely injured. He was later discovered nearby bushes, critically wounded. An old man, good Lord. Gee, many crickets. Another farm attack. More thieves. Yeah, no, Loretta. Okay, I didn't see that one from you. There it is. Good Lord. I know they're killing Uber drivers. That's not news to me either. Jeez, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're very brave. That's why most of the attacks against elderly people. Dutch tourists attacked on a guest farm outside Swamdale also recently. I haven't seen that, Andre. Updates for you on that. There's a protest by Farmers Court today for no bail. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was just naive, being foolish. His age, he should have known better. Should have just walked away and then come back, you know. Unistock confirms that Sarah Jane Trent does hold an LLB after fake statement circulates online. Yeah, more fake stuff. This is like Johan Sloot spreading stuff around, and the Sunnyside detective also spreading fake news around. University of South Africa has distanced itself from a statement circulating on social media falsely claiming that attorney Sarah Jane Trent does not hold a degree. The post, which was shared on X, alleged that the university had received numerous inquiries for better qualification. There were no records of a student by that name ever registering. In response, the university on Monday issued a statement confirming that the claim was false and that Trent was in fact a graduate. University of South Africa hereby confirms that Ms. Sarah Jane Trent is a graduate university and holds a Bachelor of Law, which she obtained in May of 2013. They condemned the misuse of its branding and of the statement. The strongest terms manipulation, misuse, versus templates and logo, which are in the public domain for misrepresentation. Yep. So, yeah, she is a lawyer, and they try to lie about her. Yeah, it never ends. This character assassination, that's a criminal act, by the way. The people that did that have committed crimes, and they need to be prosecuted. It's simple as that. But they won't bother with that. All right, guys, I can't read 1,000 WhatsApp messages. Thank you for telling me you sent me WhatsApp. I haven't looked at my WhatsApp all weekend for the most part. Ramaphosa is heaping praise on Durban turnaround. I'm sorry, when did Durban turn around? Did you see they closed the slip and slide at the Ushaka Marine World? Has he been to Durban? I haven't been there in a year, but I was there a year ago, and it was shit bin is what it was. What is he talking about? The turnaround. What turnaround? Has there been a turnaround the past year that I'm unaware of? President Ramaphosa has helped repeat praise on his presidential working group, which is set up almost 2 years ago to turn things around in Durban. The progress being made towards stabilization demonstrates how effective. What is he talking about? What? I'm sorry. Is somebody living in Durban? Can we get some feedback? Can we get some? I mean, it's 2 years ago he appointed this team. I was there 2 years ago, and I was there at 6 months after that, and I was there then last year. So over an 18-month period, I didn't see any turnaround. Yeah, maybe they meant a reach around. Yeah, what the hell is he talking about? Turnaround in Durban? He's just crazy. That guy's smoking pot. He really needs to get his head together, because that's clearly not what's going on here, folks. That's insane. I mean, what is he talking about? It's just crazy. Well, Cape Town's N2 wall will not lower crime. Well, no kidding, genius. Who said it would? The 120 million rand barrier along the highway from airport to city risk echoing spatial logic of the past. Oh my gosh. So here we come with the acting police minister spewing apartheid bubbly nonsense. Acting Police Minister Farrell Chakela says he does not believe that the controversial wall proposed will stop crime. Well, dude, no one said it's going to stop crime. What it's going to do is it's going to make it harder to murder tourists. It's going to make it harder to murder motorists. That's the idea. It isn't meant to stop crime in the townships. What are you, stupid? Are you stupid? Did you actually believe that, Mr. Shiraz? And spatial? There's no spatial bullshit. There when none of those settlements were there. Those fake tin shacks didn't exist till you bastards let them in. Let people in there and build that shit and didn't evict them. Didn't uphold the rule of law. Look what happened at Tigerberg Raceway. What a bunch of idiots. What a bunch of idiots. Stupid people should wear signs. And now we know that the acting minister of police, who's been acting for far too long, is another stupid person. My goodness. Missed the point. It's not meant to stop crime in the townships. It's meant, you moron, to stop the murder of tourists and motorists, you dumbasses. I swear to goodness, these people are dumber than, well, they're not dumb. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's lying to the parliament. He's lying to the public to mislead, to throw shade on the Democratic Alliance. That's what this is all about. Yeah, Daryl says, I was one of those on the highway at the airport turnoff and almost lost my life. Yeah, Daryl, I was there during the taxi strike. I wasn't at the airport turnoff, but I was in Mitchell's Plains when they were attacking the Coca-Cola trucks 2 blocks away from me. Yep. Oh, my goodness. It's to keep motorists safe. It's not, and it's not going to accomplish that entirely, but it's a step in the right direction. The correct step in the right direction is constant patrolling with cops in stationary positions and rotating positions all along that highway, 24 hours a day. That's how you fix this crap. Well, it won't get broken down if there's cops there watching it unless they just get paid off. Exactly. It's being used as apartheid nonsense. That's why it was a dumb decision by the Democratic Alliance thinks it's a very intelligent political party, but they're not. Who do they pick as their leader? John Steenhuisen, a flawed, petty, spiteful individual who has no competency whatsoever. That's a problem. So they pick him and he runs the party down and they claim victory when they lose. They get their ass handed to them. They lose so many municipalities in Western Cape they had control. It's unbelievable. Now, why did that not come up? Is the alert box on? Alert box is on, but it won't come up. Okay, so I don't know. Thank you, Villa, for the 350 Rand super chat. Clouds are gathering. So then they decide to build a wall. What does a wall evoke? A wall evokes images of apartheid, of separateness, how about you actually do policing? Hire more police, train them, pay them a living wage, root out corruption, have an inspector general, have an internal affairs, and deal with this thing, and then prosecute these criminals. There you go. Well, speaking of not prosecuting criminals, let's talk about more instances of not prosecuting criminals in South Africa. Well, who else but Ace Magashule, the disgraced Ace Magashule, still not going to trial. Yep, that's right, still not going to trial, folks. Yep, Ace Magashule asbestos trial not getting off the ground anytime soon. The asbestos removal tender scam trial isn't getting off the ground anytime soon. The case in which former Free State Premier Ace Magashule, once considered the future president of the ANC, and 17 others are charged in connection with 255 million Rand project, which is over a decade old, to remove asbestos roofing in the province, which was allegedly irregularly awarded and never completed, was back in the Free State High Court, where it was postponed until April 9th. The trial is unlikely to proceed either way, with the court already having excused the accused lawyers from the appearance in the meantime. Good Lord, this is never going to happen. This is never going to happen. The Ace Magashule asbestos tender will never happen. I will write a book on my deathbed at the age of 95, and I'll be talking about one day we'll hear about the trial of Ace Magashule. Jeez, unbelievable. Well, meanwhile, Leon Schreiber's Home Affairs is launching a new smart ID partnership with banks, personal security, and easier access to services at the heart of the growing integration. Yeah, do you trust this? We'll see. Home Affairs Minister Leon Schreiber has launched a partnership with Capitec to bridge the gap between the department and South Africans. Instead of citizens having to travel great distances to access Home Affairs, the minister said they would now bring Home Affairs to the people. We're doing it by embracing the power of digital transformation. Over the past 20 months, a great deal of work has taken place behind the scenes to make it possible today. For more than a decade, the Home Affairs partnership with banks is limited to just 30 branches across the entire country. In a nation of more than 63 million people, that was simply not enough. Today, we changed that forever. Today marks the beginning of the end of long queues at Home Affairs. Today we're launching that. So now you have long affairs at the bank, long queues at the banks. We're launching the first live bank branch in our digital partnership. The transformation of how South African experience Home Affairs. Great. So now you'll have long queues at the ATM machine at the banks. So Home Affairs has cleverly pushed their problem onto the banks. Actually, it should relieve the queues in large measure because you have thousands of locations instead of one location, so it should space it out. Yeah. Yeah, once they build a statue of Ace Magashule in Bloemfontein and he's dead and buried, then they'll find out that he's guilty. Unisaw has confirmed that O'Sullivan's former associate's law degree and denounced the online claims. That's the story I've already run. This is the second version of it, this one in Cockprot 24, confirming the same thing. That, in fact, Miss Trent does have a degree despite the lies. Big news over the weekend in the Six Nations where Scotland had a massive lead, leading 42 to 12, and then squandered that 42-12 lead, winning 50-40, but giving a bonus point to the French, who scored try after try in the last several minutes and put themselves in a tie. Had Scotland kept them from scoring those empty tries at the end of the game, they would have been leading the Six Nations going into the final against Ireland. But now they have to hope they can beat Ireland with a bonus point and that France doesn't get a bonus point. Otherwise, they will not win the Six Nations. But Kyle Steyn had a great day, and Pierre Schoeman starred as well. 50-40 was the final score, and it was run up really high. Pierre Schoeman's try proved to be a turning point as Scotland took the lead and never relinquished it after being down 12-5. Yeah. Winger Kyle Steyn and Darcy Graham both bagged a brace, with Steyn being named the official man of the match. France and Scotland now both have 16 points heading into next weekend's Super Sunday. I think they both have 15, not 16. Maybe it's 16. Anyway, but now we have to wait and see what happens next weekend because the French cannot get a bonus point. They have to lose or get. No, they can't. They can't get. They cannot. Wait. If they win with a bonus point, yeah. If France wins but without a bonus point and Scotland wins with a bonus point, then Scotland will win it. Yeah. Okay. There you go. So whatever the case, Scotland held its own destiny. Now they have to hope on France. The French definitely surrendered. The Scots just ate them apart. They tore them apart at Murrayfield. It was an epic game, worth watching a second time. It was tight early on with the French taking the lead, and then Scotland just came out of nowhere and just obliterated them. But then they just fell asleep in the last 15 minutes of the game. Yep. Well, you say a Snoklop, but it should have been more like 50 to frickin' 14 is what the score should have been. But they managed to cock it up in the end. Meanwhile, England lost. Thank you, Strong Boy, for your 14 months of membership. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, drama in Rome as the Italians defeat England for the first time ever. First ever win over England. Tries from Tommaso Minicello and Leonardo Marin gave Italy a historic first ever victory over much-changed England in a tense 23-18 Six Nations thriller. Fly half Paolo Garbisi kicked 13 points as Italy finally earned a victory over England in its 33rd attempt and moved above them in the Six Nations table. England were leading 18-10 shortly after halftime when Italian hooker Giacomo Notiera in the sin bin, but their discipline deserted them and Sam Underhill and Captain Mario Itoje picked up yellow cards. Not good. Wow. So Italy defeats England for the first time ever. That's epic. Now, remember that the Italians had a chance to beat France. That's how much they've improved this year. It was not France. It was they had a chance to beat Ireland. They had Ireland on the ropes in Ireland. They were in Dublin. They had Ireland on the ropes, and if they'd beaten Ireland, they'd be rolling atop this thing right now. They'd be 3-1. They'd be atop the log right now. The Italians, man, wow. Can you imagine if the Italians and the Scots were near the top of the rankings for this? It'd be incredible. It's great to see them do something in the Six Nations other than just England, Ireland, and France all the time. Well, Ghana will introduce a gold royalty. Greedy bastards are stealing more monies from mining companies. Ghana will press ahead with a new sliding scale gold royalty that links state revenues to rising bullion prices. So they're going to get more money. The new royalty scheme places a flat 5% rate for Africa's top gold producer on the sliding scale system. Gold miners will pay 12% when gold hits $4,500 per ounce, according to the framework. Gold is currently trading at above $5,000 per ounce, so they're going to have to pay the 12%. Lithium royalties will also shift to a 5 to 12% sliding scale tied to prices between $1,500 and $3,200 per ton. Well, greedy governments taking more money from mining companies, cutting into their profits. Tunisia plans to build a $1 billion expansion to the Carthage airport to quadruple capacity. Well, they better get those jihadists under control. Not too many tourists from Europe want to come to the beaches of Tunisia when the jihadists are active. Tunisia plans to expand its main Tunis-Carthage airport at an estimated cost of 3 billion dinars, aiming to nearly quadruple passenger capacity. Well, I know the airport. Flown in and out of it many, many times, having lived in Tunisia. Good luck to the Tunisians on that one. In Lebanon, Ghana's peacekeeping battalion was hit by a missile. Headquarters of Ghana's UN peacekeeping battalion in Lebanon was hit by missile attacks on Friday, leaving 2 soldiers critically injured. Lebanon was pulled into the war in the Middle East on Monday when Hezbollah fired rockets at Israel to ignite a new Israeli offensive against the group. Actually, that's fake news because they were already drawn into the war because Lebanon was targeted by Iran in the opening stages. They fired missiles there. So I'm not sure why Reuters is getting that story wrong. They're already in the war. This isn't new. That's old. That's old news. China's Xi says the military must be politically loyal after he's rooted out virtually every senior officer. There's no place for corruption to hide, says the corrupt President Xi Jinping. The fight against corruption must move forward, except for me, says Xi Jinping. Yes, well, good luck with that. Iran signals that it will continue the fight against the United States and Israel with the appointment of Khamenei's son to be the supreme leader. The hardliner will now become a legitimate target in the ongoing war. Mojtabe Khamenei, close to Iran's Revolutionary Guard, expect to take a confrontational stance towards the West. Indeed, indeed, indeed. The elevation of Mojtabe, a conservative, long close ties to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, shows that Trump's efforts to cowl the regime and surrender have failed. It also appears to have put hardliners in firm control of the country. With moderate reformist factions long marginalized, 56-year-old Khamenei is expected to take a confrontational stance towards the West. Yes, yes, indeed. Thank you for the 50 Rand super chat there, Miss V. Yep. So, all right. So Iran is not giving up. But Iran did over the weekend issue an apology of sorts before it started resuming attacks on its neighbors. Masoud Peshkian, the Iranian president, apologized for Iranian strikes on Gulf states before backtracking after criticism from other Iranian leaders. Despite his remarks, Iran continued their attacks. So isn't this comical? He apologizes. Oh, we didn't mean to attack anybody. We're sorry. But yeah, okay, well, we are going to attack you again. The Iranians have no idea what the hell's going on. They sent the first significant message of de-escalation with a major caveat, but they're not going to de-escalate. They fired 16 ballistic missiles and 121 drones at the UAE on Saturday alone. So what de-escalation are we talking about here from Iran? I see no de-escalation. I see be-escalation, but no de-escalation. Yeah, sorry, not sorry is what it is. President Trump blasts Sir Keir after Iran U-turn. UK leader navigates domestic pressure from Muslim voters. Muslims only make up a couple percent of the UK's population. Is Labour so desperate for the couple 100,000 Muslims who have the right to vote in the UK that they're going to kowtow to Muslim voters? And are all Muslims in the UK in favor of Iran's terror? Is that what's really going on here? Seriously. President Trump took aim at British Prime Minister Keir Starmer again this weekend, even as UK backpedaled from earlier efforts to distance themselves from the ongoing war. American warplanes began arriving. The Newts, your 700 Rand super chat. I don't know if I recognized that earlier. Thank you so much for that massive super chat. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. I just realized I might have missed that. I think I caught it, but I'm a little foggy here, so apologize for that. United Kingdom, our once great ally, maybe the greatest of them all, is finally giving serious thought to sending 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East. That's okay, Prime Minister Starmer. We don't need them any longer, but we will remember. We don't need people who join wars after we've already won. Vodka Model says, what do I think the chance of the refugee program closing in the year? That's a refugee question, and this is the news. This is not the time for that. I don't know where you get that fake news from. If you're still here when the news is over, which will be in a little bit, then please ask that question again. I think one of my moderators removed the question because it's not a refugee chat. Trump tells Starmer, we don't need your help. Yep. We don't need your help. But here's the problem. The UK can't even send a single aircraft carrier. They don't have the resources to send a single one. A British aircraft carrier may need assistance from another navy if it's deployed to the Middle East because they can't re-equip the ship. The Prince of Wales, one of the Royal Navy's 2 aircraft carriers, has been placed on alert. And the crew were told they should be ready to sail with only 5 days' notice. But a high-value warship such an aircraft carrier never travels alone. Typical carrier escort group includes 2 to 3 destroyers or frigates and an attack sub. However, with most of the Royal Navy's major warships unavailable or undergoing maintenance, protection would probably need to be provided by allies such as France, the U.S., or other European countries. The Royal Navy has 6 destroyers, but only the Dragon is thought to be ready for deployment. Of the Navy's 7 frigates, only the Somerset and St. Albans are believed to be available for naval missions. In other words, there is no British Navy. There's no British Navy. Well, I did a song about the Iranian Navy. Maybe it's time to do one about the British Navy. My goodness. Not looking good. Meanwhile, in Germany, the CDU lost an election to the Greens. Herman Ruiz, 70 Rand. Hey, Herman, how's it going? 36% nitrogen South Africa comes from the Middle East today. All the sales fertilizer were closed. You have to pay cash up front. Yeah, well, there won't be any more. There's no oil coming. No fertilizer coming, which is where the nitrogen is coming from. So, yep, it's true. You're going to have to go to the islands off the coast of Namibia and dig up the bird guano now. That's what you're going to have if there's any bird guano out there, if they haven't stripped it all out. I have a friend that was labor turned green. They actually believe in the BS they spit, and they actually think high themselves. Yeah, they are brainwashed, Red. They are just completely brainwashed. They're just idiots. Chancellor Friedrich Merz's party has a disappointing start of the year. His center-right Christian Democratic Union was long confident of winning back the governor's office in Baden-Württemberg. Unfortunately, it didn't go very well. Of course, Baden-Württemberg is where Stuttgart is located at, Mercedes-Benz and Porsche. Country's first and so far only green governor, Winfried Kretschmann, is retiring after 15 years in charge of a traditional conservative heartland. A CDU victory long looked likely despite the unpopularity of Merz's 10-month-old federal government. But the results come in today show that the Greens taking 30% of the vote, just ahead of CDU at 29.7%, a gain compared to what they had 5 years ago, but not enough for victory. The far right, Germany's Alternative für Deutschland, doubled their support to nearly 19%. So, there you go. And here is their top candidate for the premier of the Bundesland, a Turk, Cem Özdemir. Cem Özdemir. So now we're putting Turks in charge of provinces in Germany. The country is truly falling, just like the UK. Truly fallen. Yep. So his opponent was a actual German, Manuel Hagel. Yep. As opposed to Mr. Özdal, a Turk, taking over a German province. Ah, my goodness. Well, the men in the bombing incident near Mandami's home were motivated by ISIS. Now, I'm going to show you the difference in news reports here, folks. I'm going to show you 3 different news reports. Epic Times, the Washington Times, and I'm going to show you the New York... excuse me. Which one is it here? Hang on. Something's in the wrong place here. I got to move. These 2 things got moved here. Hang on. There we go. My news stories got moved. And the Wall Street Journal. I'll show you how what are supposedly 3 conservative outlets, only one of them is truly 100% honest. The other is mostly honest, and the third one is dishonest. That's the Wall Street Journal. I'm going to show you how they report these 2 things. Yep. So while Mamdani Zoran the Moran, the fascist Islamist in chief of New York City, runs around screaming about white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, because people had a legal, constitutionally protected demonstration against his corrupt regime outside his residence. But that apparently, people are not allowed to speak if they don't hold his views. So he calls them white supremacists. I don't know whether they're white supremacists or not. I've never met any of these people. And I don't know the story. I just know that what he says. Meanwhile, 2 Islamic fanatics actually try to kill people there. And he never mentions that they're Islamic fanatics. He tries to blame the violence on the right-wing, supposedly white supremacists. This is the Epic Times. Men in bombing incident near Mamdami's home motivated by ISIS, says New York police. The 2 men allegedly targeted anti-Islamic protesters near the mayor's residence, the Upper East Side. New York City police said Monday that a weekend bombing aimed at anti-Islamic protest outside Zoran the Moran's residence is being investigated as an act of ISIS-inspired terrorism. 2 men, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi, traveled from Pennsylvania and attempted to bring... Why are they in Pennsylvania? Attempted to bring violence to New York City. They're suspected of coming here to commit an act of terrorism. There is video of these 2 individuals throwing 2 devices towards the protest. The police department has determined that these were improvised explosive devices. New York Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch said the suspects, Balad 18 and Kayumi 19, are expected to face federal charges. Incident happened outside Gracie Mansion. Approximately 20 protesters organized by pardoned January 6 rioter Jake Lang, dubbed the Stop Islamic Takeover of New York City, had gathered outside the residence. 125 counter-protesters showed up. So, 20 white supremacists. Okay, first off, Islam is not a white or black thing. It's a religion. So, bigotry, yes. You can call them bigots. You can call them hateful people, but you can't call them racist. Islam is not race, morons. So, these idiots calling this a racial incident are just silly. They're dumb people. So, you're terrified of 20 bigots protesting outside Gracie Mansion legally. And so 125 Counter-protesters show up, and you have to throw Molotov cocktails to try to kill people. Wow. And then they cover up the fact that they're Muslims and that they're Islamic fanatics. Well, that was the Epoch Times. They tell the truth. The Washington Times, also conservative outlet, tells the truth. Explosives thrown at anti-Mamdani rally. See, it's an anti-Mamdani rally. Here you go. Being investigated for links to Islamic State. Yep. New York and federal authorities looking into links between Islamic State terror groups and 2 pro-Muslim counter-protesters hurling homemade explosive devices. New York Police Department Commissioner Jessica Tisch said Emir Balat, 18, and Ibrahim Qayoumi are being held in charge of creating and throwing explosive suspicion of trying to carry out an act of terror. Yep. There you go. So now we're going to go to the Wall Street Journal, and we'll see what this once proud publication has become, a rag for the left. 2 men suspected of throwing explosives at New York protests in act of terrorism. 2 men, not 2 Islamic extremists. Emir Balat and Ibrahim Qayoumi are accused of hurling devices at anti-Islamic demonstration. Down here we finally get to they're being investigated for committing act of terrorism inspired by the Islamic State. But that's the only time they mention this in the entire article. The Wall Street Journal, once proud publication, has become a rag for the left. Laura Logan still hasn't interviewed me. She promised to interview me, and I haven't heard back from her. Well, I guess I'm not Tommy Robinson. That explains why. Biggest question is how and where did their parents enter the U.S.? Exactly. How were they vetted? Well, they weren't vetted. Yeah, it sounds like they're very race and hatred. You're right about that. 100% Westhouse. 100%. That is the problem. All these people we led in this country the last 30 years. Higher oil prices, folks. Yep, they're hitting. Surging to $100 a barrel, or a small price to pay amid the Iran war, says Trump. President Trump says surging oil prices are a short-term problem and worthwhile sacrifice of war in Iran causes supply concerns in energy markets. West Texas intermediate crude prices spiked to slightly over 100 a barrel on Monday, raising concerns about wider shocks to global economies. Short-term oil price will drop rapidly when the destruction of Iran nuclear threat is over. I agree with him. Crude prices have not gone over $100 a barrel since the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Well, that's not true. They were over $100 a barrel for a long time after the Russian invasion. That's dishonest. That's when they went over $100, but they stayed over $100 for a while. So today, the stock market has pared down a bit as oil prices hit 100. But then they've dropped from the highs. See that? Look at that. Hit 117 at midnight and back down to 90-some dollars now. Look at that. Look at that. Dropped $20. March 9th at 12 a.m., $115 for Brent. And now Brent is at 99. So look at that. Price has already dropped by $20 a barrel. Up and down. That's the market because people speculate far too much. Vodka jumped the gun. What'd you jump the gun on? Oh, okay, for the refugee question. Yeah, hang around, Vodka. Ask a question at the end. No, it's just I can't answer questions when I'm doing the news. It doesn't work for us, especially when I've got a cloudy head. Trump says Iran targets will expand, and he did he went to Delaware for the dignified return of remains. Dover, something we never saw Biden do. And when he did go there, he was busy. Remember when Biden, the dignified return of remains at Delaware? Remember that? Kept looking at his watch. Good Lord. Well, the House passes a bill for the Department of Homeland Security, but most Democrats remain opposed to ending the shutdown. Oh my goodness. Alan Meagle just gave a 2,000 Rand super chat. Thank you for that, Alan. My 3 sons have signed documentation allowed to be drafted. Allowed to be drafted into the armed forces for the age 25. They see this as an honor to serve if called under the Star Spangled Banner. I think when Alan's talking about a selective service, you must when you reside in the United States, you must register for selective service if you're male, 18 or older, 18 to 25. Yep. Wow. Yep. I had to register for selective service twice, which is weird. I registered when I was 17, and then again when I got back from the Army, made me do it again, which was stupid, but I did it again. Thank you for the 2,000 Rand super chat, Alan. Appreciate that. Why does Iran war affect U.S. oil prices? Because oil is a global commodity, Red. I will interrupt the news for that. Oil is traded on global marketplaces. That's why you have these 2 benchmarks, the West Texas light crude price, because that's the better quality oil that we get from Texas. And then you have the Brent, which is the North Sea. And those are different major markets for oil. And the price is determined by global supply and demand. The world uses over 100 million barrels, about 100 million plus barrels of oil per day we burn through. That's a lot of oil every day, the entire world. When supply is constrained, it affects and it pushes up the price in one place. When the price goes in one place, it pulls the price up another place. So because there's less oil available, Iran is not shipping 2 million barrels of oil per day right now. So that takes all the slack out of the market, except for oil that's stored in tanks, oil that was already in tankers being transported, oil that's already in pipelines. That means there's at least 2 million barrels less of oil per day. Plus the oil coming out of Kuwait, the oil coming out of Iraq. We're probably talking as much as 3.5, 4 million barrels a day. It would be my rough estimate without looking at the recent production figures. I would guess probably up to 4 million barrels per day are not making it into the marketplace that would normally get there. That is significant. And the Saudi oil, maybe it's even more. The Saudis pump a lot of oil. Saudis pump 10 million barrels a day. That could be devastating. Oil not coming through the Straits of Hormuz, then we're talking maybe 10, 16 million barrels a day. That's significant. It doesn't take long for the tanks to run dry, for the storage to run dry. And as a consequence, if the demand remains at 100 million barrels to burn per day and the supply is 85 million barrels, you've got a shortfall. What does that mean? Supply and demand. That's what capitalism is. When there's less of something, the price goes up. So if the price for North Sea Brent goes up to $100 a barrel because there's not enough of it, people are going to buy the oil elsewhere. They'll buy it from the U.S. And more people buy it, the price, there's less of it available, so the price goes up. Supply and demand. How does that affect the market in oil? I just explained it. That's exactly how it affects the oil. That's exactly how it affects it. Supply and demand. It's as simple as that. It's a fungible commodity. It doesn't matter what the U.S. produces. The United States is the world's largest oil producer. Unless we can produce 16 million more barrels per day, which would double our capacity, which we can't do, we can't keep the price down. It's as simple as that. Plus, there's a degree of uncertainty. Oh, excuse me. Uncertainty also drives future prices where people lock in the price for oil now, and it drives up and they pay more. So that's why oil prices are surging, because there's a limited supply. Limited supply, higher prices. Simple as that. Exactly. 20% of the supply has been cut. Do the events or not? Thank you. That's the analogy you just said. Is very simple. That's what I should have said. Yeah. Well, refining is not the bottleneck. It is a bottleneck, but it is. There's not enough. You can't refine what doesn't exist. The pipeline is drying up. There will be a gap, and this will continue. So that's another thing people have to realize. It isn't like the moment that the Straits of Hormuz open back up again, the prices will go down. They'll probably go down because speculation will drop, but they won't go down significantly. At least they won't stay down, because there still won't be oil in the pipeline. The tankers that flow across the seas every single day aren't delivering oil right now. They're sitting stagnant, or they're looking for oil elsewhere. And the Angolans and the Nigerians can't pump enough oil because of bunkering and because of, decrepit facilities in Angola. And the Venezuelan oil has been off the market too. Let's not forget about that. That was a couple million barrels per day. So that's a lot of oil now that's not on the marketplace. And that's why the price of oil is going to go up. It's just a reality. Thank you, Cutman's Curse, for becoming a member at the patootie level, no less. Thank you for that. Anyway, back to Homeland Security. House lawmakers approved legislation on Thursday that's going to reopen the Department of Homeland Security, but Democrats remain opposed to ending the partial shutdown despite a leadership shakeup. After Kristi Noem was fired, they're still opposed. A lot of people speculated that was their demand, and Trump got rid of them, and it didn't change anything. The bill to fund DHS, including ICE, FEMA, and TSA through September 30th, cleared the House 221 to 207, which meant that some Democrats voted for it. Henry Cuellar of Texas, Jared Gold of Maine, Marie Gluesenkamp Perez of Washington, and Don Davis, North Carolina, were the only House Democrats to vote in favor of ending the 20-day shutdown. So 4 Democrats crossed the aisle and became Americans instead of demon rats. So there you go. Now, the bill does include body cam mandate for ICE agents. So that's interesting. Yep. So anyway, so that will go to the Senate and likely be passed this week, and then Homeland Security will be funded. Well, the Wall Street Journal is once again offering their analysis and once again trying to fearmonger. The long-feared Persian Gulf oil squeeze is upon us. They've been waiting since the 70s to write this story. Joe Wallace, Sumir Saeed, Rebecca Feng, and George I. Kantchev. There's only one Anglo-Saxon name there. You got an Arab name, you got a Chinese name, you've got some Eastern European in there. The chairman of oil producer NDO was flying from New York to Oslo on the 28th when he told staff to turn off the company's oil wells in Iraq. America and Israel had just attacked neighboring Iran. DNO. Who is DNO? That's not an American company, is it? Bijan Mossavar Rahmani wasn't taking any chances. Having weathered a drone strike on the company's oil fields in the Kurdistan last summer, by the time he landed, the pumps had stopped, the first oil shutdown of the war. To the south, another problem was brewing. An apparent recording of an Iranian naval captain telling ships not to enter the Strait of Hormuz spread through industry WhatsApp groups. Tanker traffic slowed to a trickle. Doomsday, some oil analysts believe, could never happen, was coming to pass. Unable to ship crude to world markets, much bigger producers in Iraq began to run out of places to put it. The country cut output by more than 2/3. Tanks in Kuwait are next to fill up. U.S. oil prices went over $100 on Sunday for the first time since the fallout of Russia's war on Ukraine. In the whole written history of the Strait, it's never been closed ever, said J.P. Morgan Chase analyst Natasha Kaneva. To me, it's not just a worst-case scenario, it's an unthinkable scenario. On Saturday, the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company signaled it too was slowing down production. 1 week into President Trump's war in Iran, the most severe shock to the energy market since the 70s is cascading through the world economy. Disruption quickly fed into higher gasoline prices at the pump and higher mortgage rates and borrowing costs to the U.S. government. Yeah. But this will be short-lived. So this is the timeline from 1970 until today of oil prices in inflation-adjusted dollars. So in inflation-adjusted dollars, oil in 1970 was just over $25 a barrel. It reached a peak of $200 a barrel in 2009. And now it's at $100 a barrel, a price that's been at quite a bit. In the 1980s, it was at that price. Again, in the aughts and the teens, we hit that price. And again, a few years ago. Yeah, DNO is Norwegian. Exactly, Red. My point. We fought the Iraq war for U.S. oil companies. Well, DNO is not a U.S. oil company. They're operating in Kurdistan. Norwegians, not Americans. There aren't American companies there. They were all lies. Oh, we fought the war for oil. Well, maybe we did, but not for our oil. For the Europeans and the Japanese and Chinese oil. Trump is rewriting the endgame. He's moved the goals from a popular uprising to unconditional surrender. In less than a week after launching a massive attack on Iran, President Trump has gone from telling his people the future is yours to take to insisting he will decide on a new leader and demanding unconditional surrender. Good. It shouldn't be up to the people of Iran to decide to pick another theocratic loser. That's not good. Authorities are searching frantically through debris after tornadoes killed 6 in Michigan and Oklahoma. Authorities in southern Michigan and Saturday were searching through rubble and debris after suspected tornadoes tore through the region and killed 4 people, including a 12-year-old boy during powerful storms, also blamed for the 2 deaths in eastern Oklahoma. Most likely 3 distinct tornadoes, but we don't know 100% for sure until they finish the survey. Here you see Mennonites cleaning up the debris in Michigan. Union Lake was utterly devastated. 50 kilometers southwest of there, a 12-year-old boy died and several other people were injured during a possible tornado. Horrible situation in Michigan unfolding over the weekend. Well, let's take a look at how the war has widened in Iran over the weekend. March 5th, 8 drone strikes hit the Bahraini oil refinery. Once again, not a military target. Landmark tower in Dubai hit by debris. So once again, the Iranians attacking civilian infrastructure and attacking their Arab neighbors. U.S. and Israeli strikes on this map are in red. Iran and their proxy strikes are in blue boxes. You can see they targeted Saudi Arabia, Israel, Jordan, Syria, Iraq, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman. They also went after Azerbaijan, is Turkmenistan, one of the stans they went after. So here is the submarine torpedo sinks Iranian ship off Sri Lanka, and NATO intercepts Iranian ballistic missile headed towards U.S. base in Turkey. They also attacked Turkey. Then we have more strikes. They attack into Lebanon, both sides. Just keeps going. Notice that the attacks on the Allies keep getting further into Iran. Went into Lebanon and attacking Dubai. And there's where the senior military leaders were killed in opening moments. The war just keeps expanding. Not good. So, one last note here. If anyone's interested in dating Sophie Cunningham, this strikingly tall Sakshay Indiana Fever star, glamorous WNBA star Sophie Cunningham reveals her blunt rule when it comes to dating men. Indiana Fever star Sophie Cunningham recently revealed one major deal breaker that will automatically prevent her from dating a man. The outspoken WNBA star has never been shy to discuss her dating life, especially on her podcast, Show Me Something. In an episode earlier this week, she and her co-host Wes Wilson responded to a question from a fan who initially declined a date with a prospective partner when they met through a dating app, only to change their mind after meeting the other person. That's when dating apps and technology are ruining stuff. It's like, if you like him in person, don't overthink a stupid effing app, Wilson said. Cunningham said, I agree, because speaking for the girls, guys are kind of uglier in pictures. They don't do them justice. I feel like, so when you meet them in person, it's like, oh, wait, you could be cuter. Another fan then mentioned he was interested in taller women and asked how to get their attention. 6'1" star admitted, I want to date someone who is going to make me feel smaller. Wilson encouraged the fans, saying he's going to meet a tall queen one day. However, the 6'1" Cunningham admitted that she's not the person to ask for encouragement about this. I don't think I'm the right tall person to ask because I can never date someone shorter than me because I'm already so big, so I want someone who's going to make me feel smaller. But there are so many guys who have taller girls. I think people have really good energy, and I love so many people. I just can't. I would just feel like the man in my relationship. The Missouri native then suggested the fans should attend a beach volleyball event in order to find a taller woman. Sophie Cunningham. She's a riot. She's a riot. There she is. The racist WNBA loves to find her. All right, Charles, that's inappropriate. That's going to get taken out. Okay. All right. So there you go. Turkey's refusing refugees. Well, I don't blame them. Oh, yeah, Daryl, if they hit desalinization plants in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia especially, that could cause a lot of problems. Turkey blew off the missile attack in this country is a mistake. Yeah. Then came out wrong. And that's the news for today. Someone had a refugee question earlier. Was the question about, with the program being canceled by the end of this year? Why the end of this year? The end of this year doesn't mean anything. Do you have a specific date in mind? First off, the government doesn't operate on a calendar year. The government operates on a fiscal year. So it can't be a fiscal thing you're talking about. There was a person, rover from Flight in Fox News, just came through. I have no idea what that means. What is a person rover, Anna? Charles, I wasn't thinking that. I know somebody would. Someone else would have thought of that. Yeah, she can kneel down so you can be taller. I got it. Yeah. No, I'm actually taller than Sophie Cunningham, so I'm good to go. Maybe if I shave the beard off. Yeah. Anyway. What's with business? Now temporarily replaced with a Bloomberg fan. Huh? What are you talking about? What do you mean, what's going on with business? I didn't know about that. What are you talking about? Maybe Alec Hogue was sick. Who's the Bloomberg fan? What happened in business? Please explain. Inquiring minds want to know. Oh, yes. Sorry about that. Sorry. Corey, hang on a second. Oh, everybody's live right now. Let me see. Business. I didn't know that Alex Hogue was out. Was he sick or something? Yeah, by the way, when I was in business, I was very ill. Yeah, I am taller than most folks. Not everybody, though. Give Iran football team of Australia. Don't give them asylums. Wow. Thank you so much for the news. You're welcome. Okay, so, yeah, he might just be sick. Medicals on Friday. I would just like to find out if there's someone else going to Joburg can assist. Okay. All right, there you go. Okay, Candace, anybody send me an email on Friday. That gives us time to sort it out because it's Monday. By the way, I don't think I'll be able to make it to Florida this weekend. I'll try, but I have to be here Thursday night for the veterans meeting. I can't escape that. So I don't know if I can make it, if I can find a flight on Friday to come down for that event that's this weekend. But I haven't even checked. I wrote to the lady who's responsible for the BRI in Florida for South Africans. I don't know if I'll be able to make. I'll try to make an effort. But if anybody can help out Candace with a ride from Vanderbilt Park or from Alberton, okay, so the Vol Triangle there, yeah, please let us know, okay? I know what you meant, Charles. Electricity tariffs up 8.7% this year and 8.8%. Yeah. Oh, they miscalculated. That's not a surprise. Iran is intended disrupting everyone in the immediate area. Yeah, they're consistent in their ethos. Yeah, exactly, Charles. They are. How is Iran oil shortage going to affect USA? Well, it drives up price of energy. I mean, gasoline went up 30 cents a gallon while I was waiting to go to get petrol at the pumps yesterday. Yep. Yep, that's a true story there. Please share your thoughts on Church World Service losing court case in the U.S. regarding refugee emission cuts. I didn't know they lost the case, Sonia. You're talking about the case from last year when they tried to sue Trump for stopping refugees. Well, there was no merit to that case, so I didn't know that case was canceled. Thank you for that. I'll have to take a look into it. You're buffering? No, we're not buffering here. It's got to be your connection. Lower the resolution. Okay, Lewis had an interview on Friday. Alec is busy. Oh, is that the conference? What? Is that the conference? Yeah, they're doing the planned event. Okay. Yeah, Garrett, I was on business, but I did an interview Saturday morning. It's the only thing I did Saturday. I was really sick. What is your opinion on the young Republic President, Stefano Forte? I don't want to speak ill of the young man, but first off, I'm curious about, and it's going to sound ironic because I've got a beard, but then I've earned my beard. I mean, what is with the young Republicans that are traveling from New York to there? They all look like, 1960s, students for Democratic Society radicals, anti-establishment folks with raggedy hair, needing haircuts, and scraggly beards. That's the first thing that struck my attention. They don't strike me as conservatives based on the way they appear, but that's okay. It doesn't mean how you appear doesn't mean that's your political alignment. So, but that does my first thing. Second thing is that they're getting the message wrong. First off, they're sending the wrong message. And what they're doing in some quarters is being seen as arrogant. They've calling for a special representative to South Africa on the eve of the arrival of the new ambassador. That's a direct insult to President Trump. I don't know what they think they're hoping to accomplish there. Last year, Rob Hersoff did exactly the same thing, but there was no U.S. ambassador. And Rob Hersoff did an open letter to President Trump, and he suggested and requested that President Trump assign a special emissary advisor for the refugees in for the minorities in South Africa. And I know because Rob Hersoff actually mentioned me first. He said, perfect candidate would be Colonel Chris Wyatt to be your special representative for minority affairs in South Africa. He did a video on it last year, and then he also sent the letter to President Trump. And now these young Republicans are coming there when the ambassadors just arrived and saying the same thing. It's deeply insulting. I mean, this is Trump's personal representative. I don't know what exactly they're thinking, but what their political attunement is, but that's not very attuned to politics to do that. So I think that was a mistake. Also, they're getting the story wrong. They went to the Vitkreuz monument in Polokwane in Petersburg, and they said, we found the crosses. Trump was right. No, you didn't find the crosses. That's not. Trump was wrong. The president misspoke. He wasn't wrong about the farmers being murdered. He was wrong about them being grave sites. It was a misstatement. Simply tell the truth. Don't obscure it with more lies. Going to the Vitkreuz monument claiming these are the crosses, look, I'm on the side of protecting farmers, and I'm not going to sit here and lie for people because they want to mislead. Either they're fools or they're misinformed or they're intentionally lying. It's not helpful. It's not helpful to do that. Tell the truth. Let the left, let the Johann Sluts lie about the world. Let them lie. Let the Sunnyside Prowlers lie about the world. They do that. Don't mislead people. Are they that naive to think that that's where the crosses were? I mean, did they watch the video? It was flat farmland on the side of a road. You're looking at a hillside. It was not helpful. Not helpful at all. Do I think it's September? Yeah, I think they will get. But okay, Daryl. Yeah, the September. I also think they're going to get the people that are, statement of interest, NPRM email people taken care of. I've already seen many, many people. When I say many, at least a couple dozen have contacted me. We're in that boat already since this process started getting cleaned up on the 20th of February. So yes, I think that's what they're going to do, but I can't speak for them. I hope that's the case, Daryl. I think that you must be one of the people in that boat. So, Debbie, that's my view. I have nothing against the young man or against that group, but they don't need to be spreading nonsense. Cranberry says, waiting for our first call to start the process. The grueling wait has started. What do you mean the grueling wait has started? Did you just start it, or have you been waiting for a year? Any special info on refugee applicants in Southern with family USAers? What do you mean by special info? What do you mean? Any special info? What does that mean, Jacques Funderlith? I don't understand your question. What do you mean special info on refugee applicants in South Africa with family in USA? If you have family in USA, it doesn't give you an advantage, doesn't give you an up, because this isn't about immigration. This isn't about relocating South Africans to America. It's about saving people who are being persecuted. If you're being persecuted, you qualify. Whether you got cancer, whether you're 80 or 8, whether you're gay or straight, whether you're colored or Indian or white, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter whether you have family here in America. It doesn't matter if you worked in America for. It doesn't matter if you have a social security number here. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I don't understand your question. I think that's where you're going with it. Excuse me. Normandy farm fiasco. What's that, Karen? One petrol station is already looking to raise their prices. Well, how do they do that? The prices are set by the government. How are they doing that? Unless you're not in South Africa. You must be in the U.S. now. Hate being tall. I'm 1.69. Luckily, my late husband was... Wow. Yeah, it's not normal for women to be tall. Yeah, Charles, this break should fix it. A USCIS never stopped. They never stopped. They just weren't processing people. They were fixing the process. But yeah, flights resumed today. Flights resumed today. We should see people flying out of South Africa today as refugees. Anna says, my daughter is approved today, flying 2 to 4 weeks. Okay. Calm down, Anna. She's not flying 2 to 4 weeks. She got notification, be prepared to fly in 2 and 4 weeks, okay? Let's not go getting crazy now. She drops everything, and then 4 weeks from now, she hasn't gone anywhere, and she's upset. Please listen to what I said. She's scared to go along. She asked if they can let me go with her. Well, who's she asking? Asking me? I have no control over that, and they're not going to answer. Why is she scared to go alone? Why is she scared to go alone? How old is your daughter, Anna? She can't be under 18 or she wouldn't be coming on her own. Angel says Ernst Roots is driving the whole thing. Well, Ernst knows better. He shouldn't be involved with people stating misstatements. They look like previous wokists rather than conservative. Thank you, Charles. That's exactly my thought. They look like, former ANC members have joined the Democratic Alliance. Yeah, like they've changed their stripes. Good to see you back in the air. Hope you feel well soon. I've sent you an email March 7th. You can please have a look. Okay, thank you, Cinderella Dreams. Yeah, I haven't seen an email since that date, sure. Max DK, what's up? Lower resolution, very okay. Yeah, it's because your bandwidth isn't very good, unfortunately, at the moment. Listen to the stem. They felt pretty sad how the cancer destroyed patriotic people in the new... Yeah, it's true, Bitter Ender. Now they stand for the tenders. Yeah, they're not even the same province. That's correct. Yeah, completely different parts of the country. Agriculture, Chapter 12 bankruptcies are climbing. That doesn't surprise me. Are you talking about here in the U.S. here, Holden? Doesn't surprise me. I mean, remember the Chinese boycotted our soybeans. It had a massive effect. That was eventually going to lead to bankruptcies. I mean, that happened last fall. It takes time for people to run out of resources and they can't pay their bills. Yeah, not surprised. But this is all expected, Bankruptcies happen all the time. Most dangerous job, a farmer. Second most dangerous, Ayatollah. Okay, family there might only affect you when they place you, maybe. Okay, redoing our medicals. Hope it's a sign they'll get flights soon. Okay, well, it just means yours are going to expire or have expired. So Lucy is 1.72. Wow, that's tall, Lucy. Wow. Wow. I'm not feeling better, Iceman. I just felt the need to do the news for people today. I couldn't let it go. I missed one show last night. I didn't have time because I had commitments on Sunday to do my news or to do the Refugee Cafe Clutch. 2 to 4 weeks turned to 7 months now. Exactly, G9. That's why 2 to 4 weeks doesn't mean anything. I'm trying to advise Anna not to fall for that trap. She might leave in 2 to 4 weeks, but don't count it. Diesel isn't 100% controlled, so they can adjust slight. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that, Joan. I thought it was. A lot is said about fuel going up because of rent. It's good to remember that the actual fuel cost just over 8 Rand. And the other, yeah, exactly. No, like a boss, I've repeatedly report on the fact that most of what you pay at the pump is taxes in South Africa. It's not the price of petrol. Yep. Karen's getting her birth certificate. 2 to 4 weeks notice in October. Exactly. There you go. See, that's what I'm trying to warn you guys about. So many people in backlog, especially September, October. Well, Reddick, that's not where the backlog is at. You guys in the September, October keep talking about backlog. That's only a couple weeks backlog. You need to get things in perspective here, okay? You're like, oh, September, October backlog. Okay, well, we're talking, 2 weeks. That's it. 2 weeks. You got all the people from February, March, April, May, June, July, August that are behind you. So if they're going in sequence and you're holding hope on that, you need to get some perspective here. Okay? Been watching you for a while. Thank you for doing what you're doing, says Carpakis. Business taking seriously shows you're seriously real work. Yeah, I've been on business for a while there, Carpakis. But I never go on with Alex Hogue. Just go on with Chris Sten. Anyone can go to food bank in America, Red. That's right. I could go to food bank. I wouldn't, but I could. Yep. So they have different standards. Some of them ask you information. You have to volunteer. You may have income thresholds, but food banks are open. Yep. There's a food bank here in the local town nearby, and they're wonderful people. They do a great job, and it's not second-rate stuff. I mean, good quality stuff there. Yep. They do a great job, and they do lots of other things. They actually help people put down deposits to get rentals and things like that. It's pretty amazing. Just had my mind blown. My business totally crashed a year ago. A year ago, I started speaking out against ANC. They're watching and be as a weapon against us. Yeah, no, it's definitely true. Orientation done and dusted. Now I'm waiting for the flight. Okay. 3P test. What, are you in trouble? The raid on Normandy Farm in Newcastle by Parliament. Oh, that. Okay, that. Yeah, I hadn't had a chance to cover that story. Yep. I hadn't had a chance to do that. They ignored the FMD protocols. Yep. And what was that? Did someone just super chat? Haman Fori, thank you for 350 Rand super chat. Thank you so much for that. By the way, I haven't even checked my Facebook. I wonder if because I've been out of it. Let me look and see what's going on my Facebook, because we're kind of excited about Facebook. Went from 1,000 followers to 8,000 something last time I looked. Let me look and see. 9,800. We're on the verge of 10,000 followers on Facebook. If you guys haven't followed me on Facebook, why don't you go follow me on Facebook and push me over 10,000 now? There you go. Wow, that'd be pretty cool. I've never trusted Facebook. I've only used it in desperation or out of necessity, but there's the link. If you guys can go join me on Facebook, that'd be pretty cool. Wow, that'd be cool. Pin that message top there. Okay, so any of you who's coming next week. I had a refugee who contacted me and said they were available Friday or Saturday, but I couldn't do it Friday. I was too sick Saturday, so I haven't got back in touch with him. So hopefully that refugee's watching and sends me another note and says, hey, we spoke last week. Can we do the interview this week before he gets a job? And then I have another one in my inbox. Someone's offered to do an interview. So, yeah, I'll work on those. But I haven't got around to that yet. Thank you, Teddy Bear. If we get to have a USAP interview, take food, water, like coloring books for kids. Oh, yeah, it's the entire day. Yep. Yeah. And you've got kids that, and if you have tattoos, yeah. Yeah, okay. Thank you for sharing that, Steen. So Steen finally got his interviews. And I met his kids. They're the ones that drew me those lovely pictures of me with Pikachu. Remember that? Lovely kids. You need to take something to keep the kids occupied during the day, because it's going to be a whole day. Also, yeah, he makes a good point. I've talked about this previously. He called me over the weekend, and I was out of it. So if you have tattoos, which I do not, no tattoos at all anywhere. I don't do tattoos. Sorry, folks. Not judging anyone for having, but not my cup of tea. God made this palace, and there's nothing wrong with it. So if you have tattoos, you have to explain your tattoos. So if you've got like a Nazi Hakenkreuz, you're going to have to explain that. If you've got a death's head thing, you're going to have to explain that. If you've got a Hell's Angel tattoo, you're going to have to explain that. The reason for that is that they are looking for gang-affiliated things. Now, you might be saying, yeah, but we don't really have gangs in South Africa. Well, you do have gangs in South Africa, but most of you are going to have those tattoos aren't going to be white Afrikaners, but they will have tattoos of some sort. But we do have that problem with people from Central and Latin America who have tattoos and part of gangs, and so that's all part of the process, if you didn't realize that. So if you have tattoos, you're going to explain it. All right? If you have intimate tattoos, that's a whole different story, ladies, gentlemen. That's on you. I'm not going to get involved in that. Yes, but very good point for sharing that. After the interview, they said contact in 4 days. Don't count on timeline to give. Exactly, Neff, I agree. You need it for the green card. Need what for the green card? Your birth certificate? Chantel says I'm the best. Thank you. Interview coming up. Statement of interest in May of last year. There you go. See, Max? There you go. See? There's an example. One person right there that's way ahead of that September queue. Got an email from RSA today saying that they have everything they need from us. Now we need to wait for further instructions, okay? Angel Wings comment might be important. Well, I don't know what Angel Wings said. I don't see anybody named Angel Wings here. So I'm going back. I see no Angel Wings. Nope, I see no Angel Wings. I went back several minutes. Now I got to find out where I was at. Okay, so someone's going to have to repeat what you said there. And it just jumped on me again. I wish I could control this chat better than this. Maltese cross like the Secretary of War is totally fine. There you go. No dodgy ink, says Candace. Candace, you have ink? They asked you to explain your dragonfly. See, now everybody's saying, telling everybody exactly. I have none. My wife has a bunch. I'll tell you, I'm not even going to ask, man. I follow you on Facebook, Colonel, but I tend to hang back. I know how to tail someone. Okay, Cutsmans. More people miss you when you're away for a day than they miss their own families. That's pretty nice to hear. Thank you for that. Didn't know about Facebook. We'll do that. Thank you. Unfortunately, I had THC in my system still 2 weeks after smoking can. I told you guys not to be smoking weed. People don't listen to me, man. Don't listen to me. Don't be doing drugs. Don't be doing drugs. Someone said, can we smoke weed? No, you can't smoke weed. I told you, man. You can't be smoking weed. Clean now, 3 months. Okay. Yeah, boy, you people got a lot of tattoos, man. Stupid youthful. Pat. Yes, yeah. The exuberance of youth. Thank you for that, Lou, for your membership. I'm not really feeling better. I'm just doing the best. Tramp stamps. Well, yeah, I never got those. That one never understood. Needs to lift their assets and call me to come in. What's this? Oh, lift their butt. Okay. Hot Wheels tattoo. That's funny. Thinking now is saying not possible. She'll be fine. Might be a good experience to ever get out of her comfort zone. Yep. Soft tail springer on my arm. Don't think it has any gang affiliation. I have no idea what that is. A dog? No tats, but we'll get one with the date I arrive in USA, says Tom Hawk. You just have to tell them what the tattoo is, where you went to get it, and they were very nice and patient with us. Yeah, Mr. J. Bling. No, but you didn't exactly have one with, death to the ANC scrawled on your arm. If you had that, that wouldn't have been so easy to explain. Give flight tickets first to people whose flights were canceled. Well, I would hope so, but we don't know. Why do you have the bugger off bunny tattoo? That's funny. Yes, some people have. Whoops, no, I'm spinning. What's going on over here? Oh, there we go. Mine was spinning. Yeah, the bugger off bunny tattoo. That's funny. Yeah, you can't smoke weed, folks. I said it may be time you act against the Sunny Side when she posted she's looking into your moderators who's left to the USA. Yeah, she did her post after. Yeah, okay. Oh, Angel Wings, thank you. There's someone here on the channel who can help with that, and if you can reach out to me, then we'll look at it. Yeah, this woman is a very dangerous person, and she really needs to be prosecuted for her activity. So, yep. But these people never quit. That idiot Johan Sloot, he's still watching there. He attacked Nas Bota after Nas moved to the States. For what? What a loser. SpongeBob. Well, I'll explain that one. Thank you, Angel Wings. I see your comment now. And Lou says, I'm glad you're feeling better, but I'm not really feeling better, Lou. Thank you for the thought, though. Okay. All right. Tramp stamp, which I can't explain to myself. Got it when I was 15, says Max. Okay. I don't want to know. And message, Food Sock Project. When you get a chance, look at it, please let me know what you think. Okay, Fanny. Is it listed under funny, or is it something else? Or their approach to drugs is hectic. Why is their approach to drugs hectic? We don't want druggies in our country. It's dangerous. Don't need people that are into drugs. 1440, I'm with you. I've never smoked marijuana, never touched an illicit substance in my life. Alan says, 400 Rand for another 400. Thank you, Alan. 50 seconds say, I never had the urge to have tattoos, never used drugs till today. Huh? Never used drugs till today. Okay, all right. My PRM day was released. It was released, complete everything, and we'll wait. You still haven't been contacted, Daryl. Well, hopefully you will get contact now that this lift has been sorted out. Well, you did the intake questionnaire. Did you do the intake questionnaire? If you didn't do the intake questionnaire, Daryl, you're not going to get a call. The intake questionnaire, you must do the intake questionnaire, which came out on November 4th. I hope you did that. Otherwise, you're not going to get a call ever. When the notice of interest came through, we filled in, went for interviews, and maybe we can redo med. Okay. Harley Davidson Softail Springer. Oh, the motorcycle. Sorry, I didn't know what. I thought that was a dog. Why not weed? Because it's illegal, Karkapakis. What is with you people and your soft attitude towards marijuana? I lost younger viewers when I started this channel because like, oh, you're opposed to weed. Yes, it's a drug. And also, I'm opposed to abuse of alcohol. People should use it in moderation. My was you, my kids. Huh? Stan, what are you saying? Would you remix the Afrikaans with English? My was yo, my kids. Small miracles in our lives. Your kids are lovely. Got a tattoo on my shoulder that I got from my mother, so I don't mind explaining it. Correct. Weed is illegal at the federal level. Should be illegal at every level, but it's not. Christian Simmelfish, the officer USS, was the first person to notice the nails. They're very clued up on tattoos. They are. Funny enough, mine is a mini Sons of Anarchy tattoo. Ha ha! You're going to have to explain that one, Pat. Callie Moritz, which you want to get to WhatsApp groups? Well, we've got 3 of them, but you can't chat in them. If that's okay with you, then I'll get you. Let me see which ones are open. Some people may want to go. All right, so we got 3 groups here. The original group has, if there's any space to get anybody in there. Excuse me. Oh, my goodness. Okay. The original group has, come on. What's that? We have a little bit of space. Oh, wow, this is pretty cool. I like that, except it's blue. What's with the blue, man? I like that. It's Colonel Chris for South Africa, you say. This one's pretty cool. Debbie made this. I like it. Look at me a little more cherubic than I am, but that's fine. I guess I look a little chubby right now. That's not too bad. I'll show that in a minute. So we can get some people in here. It'll take a few. Add. That's not what I want. Members, come on a second here. Add member. Oh, that's not what I want. Give me a second here. I'll give you a couple links here. So copy link. This is if you want to join, but you can't comment here. So don't get in and then leave just because it doesn't satisfy your itch. It's just a place where we share information. We post links. So that's the first group if you want to join it. Okay, let's see if anybody goes for that. If anybody goes for that, then I'll jump into the second group. And we'll go from there, okay? Let's see if anybody joins that. Because I got 15 slots in there. That's the first original group. Got 2 more groups. Light rain. Marilyn Manson. That's crazy. Marilyn Manson or Marilyn Monroe? I think it was Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Manson wasn't alive 40 years ago. Tiny dragonfly on my shoulder blade, okay? Historically, South Africa has been very friendly towards Israel, and the ANC love Israel. Most of us still stand with Israel. German word for a tramp stamp, which literally means ass antlers. Mark Myber, you must contact Dr. Fun der Mercedes New York. He issues medical papers for medical marijuana. I don't need medical marijuana. Under that, thank you, Funny. Okay. Flights are resuming tonight. Well, they should be. Well, it's the first people out of South Africa ought to be flying in the next hour. If flights did resume today, they were scheduled to resume today. If they take off today, the first people will be coming out in an hour. We'll see if I get any messages from anybody. So that's when they're supposed to. I'm not at the airport. I can't guarantee anything. I'm just telling you what information I have. Here we go. That's right. The closest thing I have to attach is a green dot on my kneecap. Ouch, pencil. That sucks, Karen. I got stabbed with a pencil in my butt when I was a kid. Probably because it's controlled. Yep, they said for a year I was legally allowed to be found with weed on me when I was doing automation software security for a farm. Okay. Never touched anything. Also never been drunk in my life. Well, I can't say I've never been intoxicated. I've definitely been intoxicated. Only a couple of times, though. But all my tattoos, all of them, there's remind me of something significant. You know, that's why people get tattoos. Well, whether it's legal there or not isn't germane now, is it, Shylock? Or not, Carpacus. Not Shylock, Carpacus. It's not germane. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether it's legal there or not. You're not coming to South Africa, you're coming to America. That's where it matters. Brother died in accident because of weed. Yep. What I meant by the approach to drugs being hectic is they are not playing games. So if you have taken drugs, be prepared to... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Cecile is proud of her ink. Nothing dodgy. Okay. I don't have a Limpopo group. There's no such thing. You're confused, Callie Moritz. I only have 3 groups, which are just places to receive information. If you want to be part of some other WhatsApp group, that's not what my WhatsApp group. I get blamed for that crap all the time, but they're not. I got 4 requests to join that group. 1, 2, whoops, lovely, avatar 3, and 4 people have joined that group. So that takes up a few. So few people there. So there's to the urge for people to use drugs and alcohol to hide from their problems by adding new ones. I agree. Lifting weights, do not take steroids like Winstrol. Oh yeah, don't take steroids. Okay, Hendo's giving WhatsApp updates. Okay. Well processed, fully now, pending travel arrangement. The process still as far as easy and smooth, always friendly and patient is the key, says Jay Blingnut. I do not judge, but Daga Muck. Catch you, Debbie. The problem is if nobody actually stands up to people like the Sunnyside Woman, she will continue and she causes harm. Well, she's been stood up to before, and she still does it again. Angel Wings. She's been stood up to before. She and her friend of hers in New Zealand destroyed the life of Amy Justine LaRue, and she won a court case against him, but only 30,000 rand, which has never been enforced because he's in New Zealand. So the courts, they just get away with it. So she does cause harm. She's going to wind up getting, just like Johan Sleuth, these people are going to piss off the wrong people at the wrong time. And they're going to wind up in a very miserable end or in a very painful pool of something. They're going to piss off the wrong people, and they're going to be harmed. This is what happens when you do stupid things like that. Yeah, that's not something I engage in, but they're going to wind up themselves very angry people. The refugee program has been very limited. People have used in the past. Sister in the IOM said if you fail a test, you have initial test, you'll be pushed back a year. I don't know if that's true. Oh, I misunderstood. Did SOI day out, PRM, contact July, complete everything meds. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, you're fine then, Daryl. Okay. Thank you, Hannes and Nicoline Olivier. Tattoos for kids. No, it's, oh, got you. That's, okay. Yeah, you're mixing Afrikaans. I understood for my kids. I didn't get that. You got tattoos for your kids. Gotcha. Okay. Medical marijuana is different. That's very different, Bitter Ender. That's a very different situation. I mean, it's allowed here in Pennsylvania, medical marijuana, I believe. It's allowed in a lot of states. So, yeah, that's a very different situation. But that has very controlled circumstances. You can't smoke marijuana at our Veterans Club. We can't smoke in our building anyway. But even if we allowed smoking, you couldn't smoke marijuana because medical marijuana can only be consumed at your residence. And you can't operate vehicles. Pre-screening had lots of ups and downs. But just be patient, says Candace. Okay. Weed makes the McDonald's queue go slow. James sent me 3 cards, okay? Okay. Come on. You need some Popeye spinach. Yeah. How long do you think the war in the Middle East will go? I said if the outset 6 weeks minimum, probably at least 8 weeks, maybe longer. We'll see. He won't carry it into June or Memorial Day. I'm sure it'll be done before then. I never went to any raves. Some people believe there's no other out and get bliss from that period and forget over. They don't see the forest for the trees. Yep. What did you think of the music I made? Stian, I didn't listen to it. Sorry. Oh, Mark said that's the loophole. Gotcha. No, it is a loophole. It is a loophole. Yeah, if you've got medical marijuana, it's a very different story. Joe says, thanks for the news. You're welcome. Okay. Claire Bear, what's going on? Tats plus weed equal American culture. Tats, weed, no, I'm American. No, it's not American culture. That's part of American culture. Christian Ehlers, had to download your chat, missed most of it. Okay. Tramp stamp. I know what a tramp stamp is. The velvet blue. I know what it is, and I find them hideous. I don't think they look attractive on any woman or any transgender. I know what a tramp stamp is. It's not a Gen Z thing. It started with the baby boomers started getting tramp stamps. They did the freaking barbed wire and the tramp stamps. It's a tramp stamp is not a positive affirmation of your character. Sorry, I know what they are. Do you think it speaks up if you supply a list of tattoos and what they mean? Janine, probably, yeah, probably. Okay, let me ask you. We filled an intake question and we're fingerprints. Now wait, I guess they will call us next. They'll get to you when they get to you, Marika. Can't promise. We'll see what happens after this pause in the program. It restarts today. We'll see if it speeds things up. Often featuring some design. Yeah, Velvet Blues tell me what the tramp stamp. I know what they are, and they're not attractive. And they don't look attractive when you get older and you get fat. And everybody gets older and gets fat, or at least gets saggy, whether you get fat or not. When do I think the program might close? By the end of the year, not trolling, just no. I didn't say you're trolling. I said, where are you getting the information from? Why would it end? There's no reason it would end. There's no logical reason why the program would end at the end of this year. It's a calendar year. The U.S. government operates on a fiscal year. If anything, the program would end at the end of a fiscal year because of funding and not being refunded, which would be 30 September. But that's not even going to happen. It's up to Trump. Trump's not going to end the program, especially with the way South Africa's behaving. I mean, the ANC's gone out of its way. By the way, I finally had a video go over 100,000 again. Wow. I did the video on the interview from the New York Times with Ramaphosa, and I said he sealed South Africa's fate. With that stupidity, Ramaphosa has ensured that this program will continue. Ramaphosa guaranteed that the refugee program will continue because of what he did and said by attacking Donald Trump, calling him a racist, and saying the stupid things he said in that interview. He just guaranteed the program is going to continue. It's not going to end. The ANC continues to insult America every turn. Right after that, the next day, Ronald Lamola came out and attacked the United States and says we're violating international norms. But South Africa's violating international norms. Selling helicopters, combat helicopters to sanctioned warlords in Benghazi, sending mercenaries to fight in Ukraine. And there's several other instances of it. Bringing designated terror groups to participate in naval exercises, ships that are now at the bottom of the Arabian Gulf. So my opinion is the program's not going to end. It won't end before Trump is out of his presidency. And probably not then. Oh, I haven't had any phlegm yesterday. I'm getting a lot now. We live day by day. Can't wait to go. My wife and kids are also excited to start a new life. I have to say there are lots of slots opening up. Remember waiting days to get a chance to get into a group. Well, I only had 2 groups. Now I have 3, so that's part of the issue here. So a lot of people join the group, and they think that the group is all about them being able to chat. So, and it's not. I don't want toxic groups. Well, okay, let's put things in perspective here. The marijuana that people are smoking today is not the marijuana of my parents' youth. No, it's not the marijuana of my parents' youth. The potency is exponentially larger. It's a far more dangerous drug than it was when the hippies were smoking weed in the 60s. It's not like it was back then. Very different situation. The potency is dramatically increased, and it's much more dangerous. And people don't take that into consideration. They act like it's the same thing that they were smoking in the 60s. It's not. Who needs drugs and salad? Just watch the government for 5 minutes. It has the same effect. Good to see Adrian Fundaskiff. Okay. Poison ivy is also legal. It doesn't mean you should smoke it. Yeah, you also shouldn't touch it. Only my opinion, but only drug that's a good drug is no drug. Okay. I have a few tattoos. My body isn't a temple. It's more like a haunted house. It creaks and makes weird noises. Yeah, mine's been making weird noises the past couple of days, that's for sure. So I'm with you on that one. That's funny. It's not a temple. Oh, goodness. Tramp stamp is definitely not ladylike. Don't know if men do tramp stamps. I've seen a few crazy men do them too. Yeah, it's tramp stamps are for the streets. My daughter's tattoo from butterfly morphed into a moth. See? Mark Myberg, you thought a tramp stamp was a slut tat. Well, that's what it's associated with. Missed broadcast, but wanted to come in and say hello. Hey, Robert, what's going on there? I'm okay. Surprised the cost of the machinery you needed as well as the testing you need to do if you have to have tracking every step. I'm not sure what Joan's talking about. How do I change my old number in the Bricks Tour group to my new number so I get notification? Bricks Tour group? Huh? Colonel's opinion I asked earlier on. He told me to ask. I already answered that question, Vodka. That's the second time I answered it. I think that's why maybe somebody told you not to ask again. I answered the question when we started. I don't know that you disappeared. That's why they're saying I've answered that question. I just answered a second time. Fell in the middle of transition. Got to do medicals. Okay. Yeah, tattoo's going to look atrocious in a nursing home. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool that one finally went over 100,000, but it was a long time. I mean, I hadn't had one since November over 100,000, and the two subsequents didn't do anything. So 113,000, Round Posa digs ANC's grave. Now, that's here. Let me go over and look on Facebook and see how it's doing. So 114,000 on that one. I've got 193 subscribers from it. That's how my videos used to do. That video made me $123 in ad revenue. See, when you have a 100,000 view video, you can make some money. That's not a lot of money, $123, because 30% of that goes to YouTube, so that's about $80, and then half that goes to government. So I made $40 off that video. So just to let you know, in case you're curious. Let me see how the Facebook is doing here. It was at 9,800 last time I looked. If anybody joined, we're at 98. Well, not too many people joined. Must already be over there. But let me take a look at the video that has that many. So, okay. I got 127,000 on the Facebook. So between the two of them, that's close to 250,000 views on that video. Thank you, Terrence, for your membership, for upgrading to Platoon Leader. Appreciate that. Vodka Model, you're welcome. I know, it's just the mods are supposed to keep people from posting things repeatedly. You must have missed my response the first time, and then you heard it the second time. THC gives a high. CBD binds with the THC to take it away. We were farming for CBD oil, so we saw THC. It meant we had to destroy the product. Gotcha. What if you use drugs like 25 years? Just be honest when asked the question. It's not going to be a problem. They will get to you when they do. I know a chap that had his interview in medical in November, and they just got a call to their interview. It takes time. Yep. Also, this isn't very long. Look, I mean, this is going to piss some people off and feelings are going to be hurt. But guys, this is not long. This is not long. You all have very unrealistic expectations. Very unrealistic expectations. I mean, again, we had an interview. My last interview with refugees was fantastic. And they said, look, they appreciate that people live in camps for years waiting to get refugee status to come to America. And what about the 25,000 people who had been approved and were supposed to fly last year and come here? Those people got left hanging. So, yep. Okay, I've been a U.S. citizen for 20 years now. My family has applied and just wanted to say thanks to all of you. Okay, Jacques van der Lith, welcome to America. 20 years plus late. Obviously, we're here for more than 20 years, so thank you for being here. Where do you live, if you don't mind? You don't have to tell me the town, but what state are you in? And your family applied and want to say thanks for all the info. Well, it's my pleasure, Jacques. Thank you for finding the channel. It's a good way for you to keep up on events in South Africa. If you're curious, is watch my channel, plus the news in general. Thanks for being here. Thanks for becoming a subscriber, Jacques. Appreciate it. Maybe the uranium ANC might. Killer to us. USA is our land of milk and honey. Yep. People with tattoos scared the heebie-jeebies out of me as a kid. How much has changed being an adult, says Veroska. For experience in Hillbrow was Hell's Angels motorbike gang when I was 9. Wouldn't get out of the car. I got you, Veroska. Makes sense. Team Fenter says, my birthday today. Please put the cake up for my daughter to see. Okay, not a problem. Hang on. Just now getting to seeing that. You just mentioned. There we go. Thank you for not mentioning during the news, so I missed it. So happy birthday, Team Fenter. Yay. Can we get some birthday greetings? Birthday greetings. Come on, guys. Asked about how long the war, because there's more and more speculation to me that might expand a global conflict. You think it's unlikely? Well, your last statement's kind of odd. You think that's unlikely, ... And then obviously. I don't know it's obvious, but I don't think it's going to extend into a global conflict. China and Russia won't get engaged. The only thing that could happen is the neighbors get drawn into it. But then they've already been drawn into it. Iran has already attacked every one of its neighbors except for Russia, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. Only 3 neighbors they haven't attacked. So, they even attacked countries that aren't even bordering on them, like Lebanon and Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Oman. So, in the Emirates, so it's not going to become a global war. This is a fantasy that leftists and right-wingers and ill-informed geostrategists like to draw people into. Not going to be a global conflict. It will have global impact, absolutely. I mean, the world One of the things I like about that show that I'm watching now, Landman, which is really good with Billy Bob Thornton. I started second season, but the first season, they basically say, it's the bottom line here is that that's just the way things are. You can sit here and put all the windmills up and all the solar panels you want, but they're not economical. They're not making money. They don't reduce carbon. And until someone finds a replacement for petroleum, this is how things are going to be. People forget that you don't just need petroleum for energy. It's used for toothpaste and for plastics and for medicines, and for every lubricant on the planet. It is the grease that greases the skids of modern life. Without it, you might as well live in a tent, and you might as well, go hunt your food, go, with a spear, because nothing can be done, nothing can be made, nothing can happen without energy and without petroleum. Even if we didn't use petroleum for energy, it would still be a considerable consumption of it on a daily basis for everything else. And these idiots on the left seem to think that they can overcome that. Windmills and waves energy and all this other stuff is not going to replace petroleum. First off, windmills and solar panels don't make plastics. Windmills and solar panels don't make medicines. Windmills and solar panels don't make lubricants. You need lubricants to make machinery work. Those windmills rely on hydrocarbons to grease the gears. Those solar panels are manufactured using petroleum. So it's silly stuff. Silly stuff. So the world will be affected by the shortage of oil that comes as a consequence unless people cut consumption. And it's a bad time for it, actually. As the Northern Hemisphere goes into the spring and summer months, this is when we pick up. Thank you, Elsie, for your subscription. Oh, is that Debbie Fox sent my daughter is getting married. Wow, Debbie, congrats. Ah, damn it, there's another one gone. Oh, well, I was going to bump it up to 17. We'll stick to 16 wives in 13 countries. Okay, so much for that. Congratulations to your daughter, Debbie. Wow. Yep. Congratulations. Congratulations on your birthday, Team Fedra. But yeah, snippets. There won't be a global war. In between generation, not early baby boomers. They call us Generation Jones. We really don't fit anywhere. I guess that's me, Karen, because the baby boom ended on December 31st, 1964. I just got in under it, but I've always been called baby boomer, and Gen X tried to carry me as well. But technically a baby boomer, but so I guess we're the Generation Jones. Is that us, Karen? Ronaldo got ink like an HP printer. Okay. Heinrich says newspaper just printing. Did you see Cyril at Jesse Jack's funeral insisting on going over his allotted time waffle about no? I didn't see it. I was sick. I missed it. Even though I know 2 to 4 weeks means nothing, I'm smashing that send receive button. Okay, that's cool, Iceman. Gotcha. It doesn't mean nothing. It just means you're prepared. Okay? Now, all these people are going to go, you told me it meant nothing. I didn't say it didn't mean anything. What I mean by it means nothing is it doesn't mean you're leaving 2 to 4 weeks. It means you could leave in 2 to 4 weeks. Subjunctive. Could. It's possible. Be ready is what it says. Be prepared. Like a Boy Scout. THC is a lifesaver for chronic pain. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. What the heck? Am I that far behind? Okay. Oh, my goodness. Oh, his son was living with Grant saying, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Yeah, today's marijuana is dangerous. Yep. Explain our tats interview. The U.S. agent blushed when we explained exotic places. Yeah. Or erotic places. Marijuana wants to be this program must be... Say anyone... Okay, yeah, stop using weed. Correct, the weed strain has been modified to cause mental... Okay. Jackson's son to Obama. My father hated you. Yeah, he did. He did. He hated Obama. Yeah. Can you enter if you're addicted to big pharma drugs? Well, if you show signs of it, they'll pick up on it. No, but yeah. Tramp stamp, discount branding. That's good. Thank you for the upgraded membership. Terrence, how can the UN and the other world nations allow the ANC to openly scream against white South Africans and minority groups? Because they have no sovereign authority over South Africa. All they can do is push sanctions against it. That's it. And they're not going to do that because the world sees the other way. Tylenol is over the counter. That's not a prescription drug. Okay, check that sparrow tattoo. Turn into an ostrich to when it gets older. He's a fine one to speak. Jesse Jackson was a grandstander, a grifter of note. He was even at Vanity Toys, POW incarceration in Angola. Yeah, he's a piece of crap, Jesse Jackson. And put me on a Bricks Tour group where only he and you can post. I don't even know what the Bricks Tour group is, Karen. Am I in a Bricks Tour group? What is that? That must be a new one. I didn't even know I was in that. Yeah, I think you have to get 10,000 to be monetized on Facebook. Yeah. I've told him I'm monetized, but it doesn't give me any money. It says I've earned like 1 cent. So, yeah, but not really. That wasn't the goal, but yeah, if we get there, we'll do it. Not addicted to any drugs or alcohol. Never did any of them to get joint after work. Was laxing. Still ran a business. Paid off a bond. Alcohol does more damage. Yeah, I don't agree. I've seen far too much damage from weed. It makes people mental and stupid and lazy. North Dakota, and walking a trip to Gettysburg in a couple weeks. Oh, you're in North Dakota. Okay. Jacques, when you come to Gettysburg in a few weeks, you need to drop me a note. I'm 25 minutes from Gettysburg. I can give you a tour. We can meet up and have a coffee. You absolutely should send me an email. Absolutely. Absolutely. There you go. You can do a meet and greet at Gettysburg if you want. You don't have to. But if you're coming from North Dakota, it's a long way to come and not say hello to the colonel. Okay. My loved one suffers from cannabis. Well, there you go. Well, I'm not arguing against medical marijuana. People are not listening to what I'm saying. I never argued against it. Some people are afraid of clowns. Yeah, I'm terrified of the ANC. Can we put the house on the market and start selling since we get 2 to 4 week embrace? I know it can be 2 to 4. That's a tough one, bitter enders. I mean, it's up to you. Houses don't always sell quickly, so maybe it's a smart thing to do, put on the market, but then be ready to use some of that cash to find temporary accommodation that might last for a while. Yep, that makes sense. I think your strategy's sound. Previous police minister said peace with people with tattoos are criminals. He did. That was Beckett Chile. Yep. Waiting since March, says Anton. Okay, they attacked Sunni nations. They did. The Shia attacked Sunni nations. Ask a biker why he's got a 1% tattoo, so only 1% of people asking him that question is still around. It's funny. Huge cliffhanger in season 2. Can't wait for season. Okay, well, thank you for that, Andre the Giant. Appreciate that for Landman. Yeah, he was great in Goliath. Yep, I was just started rewatching Goliath again. So yeah, Billy Bob is a fantastic actor. Heidi, he's a creepy person, but he's a fantastic actor. And I think that Ali Larder is perfectly cast in that role. She's brilliant in that role. Not heard any person being denied rest status due to previous drug use. I've asked many questions on Facebook too. No, not that I'm aware of, Tomahawk. Not aware of anybody being turned, but then we probably haven't any heroin addicts show up. My daughter's getting married. Okay, if I already got that, Debbie. Thank you for the 700 Rand. Chris, did you see an article from Amanda Wilson called Operation Windmill? I have seen it. It's poppycock. I don't know where she's fabricating. Most of that information is just made up stuff. Yeah, I haven't addressed it because I've been sick. Billy Bob, was he in Fargo? I remember him in Fargo. Tulsa King is with Stallone, isn't it? Okay. Petroleum jelly is in almost all products for skincare. Exactly. People cry about stuff and they don't know the impact. Exactly. Exactly. And who wants to jeopardize their lives by doing something that can get you deported? Yep. A wind turbine party's never made money. Yep. Windmills grind grain. That's what the purpose of clouds are gathering. Yep. Lipstick is made from oil. Exactly. Conflict won't go global. Russia and China won't risk their countries. Yep. Yep. Iran's not worth it. My father was also an anchor tattoo on his arm from the 60s. Huh. Okay. Landman Series 2. Yeah, Landman Series 2 is out. Series 3 is in production now. The world is built around petroleum-based products, 100%. Okay. Proud to be Gen X, says Ian. Good day, Anna Kruger. Got to go. See you later. Okay. Come on, where are we at here? Okay. A snippet says, thank you for the announcement. You're welcome. Halftime. Monty's 29. Who's Emirates? I don't know who Emirates is. Landman is cool. Yeah, there's a new wind turbine. There's no blades. Something has to do with energy generated by vibration. Huh. Looks like a phalanx popsicle. Talking Scouts. Did you see the ultimatum the president gave? No, I didn't. What did he tell me? He told me I had to get rid of girls in the Boy Scouts? I wouldn't be surprised. Francois Ferreira, thank you for the 14 Rand. I missed that. How's the food support? I don't know. I've been not on my messages for a couple days, so I'm way behind, and I know some people are asking for help. Worcester, Massachusetts for 2 months. Families have chatted to Nick Forster. Hope to get around to sending emails. No, I haven't seen anything from him. I was clean for most of the 25. I had a relapse in November. Was smoking daily. Quit. Okay. Okay, I think they said Jen Jones was 54. Oh, no. I'm not Jen Jones. How can that be Jen Jones? That's baby boom. Baby boom went to 1964. It's a 20-year period. It's a whole generation. Monsanto, Bayer, Glosphate. Your aspirins are fine. Huh? Imagine sitting with dementia and tattoos and freaking out because it doesn't want to rub off. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, Daddy Sarcastic. Vegetable known as meat. Hey, Lonely Pretorius, or Tony Pretorius, excuse me there. You get a tattoo of leopard 20 will be giraffe when you're 60. Hey, Fran, it's been a while. I haven't seen you. 6% of 350,000 housing loan. No one is buying. Yeah, no one is buying. 6% is too high. I'm not buying at that. My home loan's 3.75%. And I'm moaning about that. Waiting for son's police clearance. Why do you need a police clearance, Heinrich? Okay, you don't have to answer that question. It must be he had something going on. I have no idea. That was what the group name was displayed as, but the phone will switch on. I don't know, Karen. Can I email you a land lease advert? It's the same. Sure, Pat Meister, you can mail me that. What do you call bees that make honey? Booze bees. What is that? Warning South Africans, the weed in the U.S. is not... I don't know what Neil's trying to say there. I've got 2 tattoos on my shoulder blade after being dared by my traffic officers' colleagues and a star on my wrist. Airplane crash, Christy. Oh, shame. Sorry to hear that. Bonnie, take care. House sold quick. We'll move to Northern Cape in the interim. Okay, Pistons. That works out well for you. Can't wait to never hear I can't have a job because I'm white again. Yeah, there you go. Hijacker killed during attempted courier van robbing in Pretoria. Oof. Operation Windmill article was a satire. Not worthy response. That's why I haven't done a video on it yet. It's ridiculous. Also love to go to Gettysburg just to see and experience. Yeah, Gettysburg's pretty cool. Danny Groenewald, what's going on? Why would they send a 4-week notification? It's not really 4 weeks. Uh-oh. Why would they send a notification? Because people wind up in this program traditionally for years. Lara Duplessis. If you are a Somali living in the Dadaab camp in Kenya and you've been there for 7 years and you've popped out 3 children and you applied this program 5 years ago, they're going to send you a note telling you that, hey, be prepared to leave in 2 to 4 weeks. We're finally getting around to your case, which means you could leave in 2 to 4 weeks. It's how the system works. In the case of South Africans, well, the program has been managed in 3 clearly different fashions in order to create a program where now, maybe the 4th go-round, they've finally got it sorted out. From a PRM email to a statement of interest to an intake questionnaire to a reset. We're now finally to the stage where maybe they've got it right. And maybe they get it where they have reliable contractors who work for them that can actually schedule people for medicals and for interviews and for all the stuff in sequence the way it's supposed to be done in a fashion so that they can be projected to leave on time. That has not been the case. That is why they tell you 2 to 4 weeks. If the system is working, it would be 2 to 4 weeks. But as I've cautioned from the outset of this program is an in-country program. It hasn't been done in many years, and therefore there are fits and starts. I guarantee you that almost nobody at the State Department has actually done this before, because the last one I'm aware of was in Bosnia-Herzegovina, and we have an ongoing one in Cuba. Christy, thank you for the 14 Rand. So that's why they send you a notice. It's a matter of practice, and I've tried to warn people that. So the Scouts need to go back where they were before the woke BS, so they'll no longer receive federal funding. Good. The Scouts shouldn't receive federal funding. We smokers so clever don't realize how stupid they are. Okay. Holden wants the pedos removed from the Scouts. Well, I think we all do want that. Daryl says, thank you for committing to South Africans. Hopefully one of all of us get together and repay you in my prayers. Thank you. Eating marijuana is a completely different drug, like doing hallucinogens. I heard many people... I don't know about that. Past the past, Jim is now my addiction. Son is my drug of choice. Good to hear, Tom Hawk. I got out when I found Addison's. It was the world's underneath. Oh, okay. Do they want to view each tattoo? Only the intimate ones, Charles, on the ladies. We only want to see the intimate ones on the ladies. Dude, I don't. The medicals will see that. You get a medical examination, I imagine that's where they're going to see it. I don't know the answer to that question. You make me sound like Billy Bob Thornton. Let me get a cigarette in my mouth here. I don't know. I'm going to regret this. This ain't going to go away anytime soon. Sound like Billy Bob Thornton, man. Oh, my goodness. Okay, Sammy, take care. Latchkey Kids came later. That was the 90s, 80s and 90s. Yeah, they say they're going to place 3,000 crosses. We'll see. Apocalypse Ninja, keep up the good work. Much love, the Floridians. Thank you for the $2. Lambert Space Randy Towns gathered for a farmerless attack this morning. Yeah, I talked about it earlier. Edibles are scary. Stayed away from them. Ronaldo loves them. I believe the program is getting streamlined now. I agree, too. I think that's the case. We'll see as it goes forward. Loretta says, just want to say thank you for always when they go extra miles, even when you're ill. Yeah, I know I've been sick since Wednesday. And let's see, Wednesday I did 2 broadcasts, Thursday 3. It's 5. 2 on Friday, 6, 7. And then, yeah, I did 7 while I was sick. This is my 8th stream while I'm sick. Sounded like a Wookiee. Neff, you just ruined it, man. You told me don't look at your tattoos. You ruined it. We were getting everybody all spazzed out, man. My one friend is a financial advisor who administers multi-million grant funds. He smokes due to stress. Well, it's been asked for. If we've done the interview in January, do we have to? No, you don't. No, where did you read somewhere? That's the lie. Who told you that? No, you don't. No, do not do that. Do not do that. You just clog up the system. That's one reason for the reset. Yeah, Gen X are the latchkey kids. That's correct. Lady said my fingerprints look brand new, which was weird because I work with my hands. Interesting. Keep the Canadians out, the Boy Scouts. United Justice 70 Rand says, get well soon. Thank you for that. You take a break, but I know you won't. Well, I did take a break Saturday after doing my interview with Business. I need to listen to that and see how it went. But yeah, I haven't made any videos since. I need to make some videos. But I need rest too. So anyway, there we have it, folks. Whittling down the size of the audience slowly. How are we doing here? We've been on air for over 2 hours. Well, I didn't realize that. Why are your Facebook reported? What are you talking about? My Facebook reported. What are you talking about? What's report on Facebook? What are you talking about? I didn't see your question. Nothing report on Facebook. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Corey? How long is biometric data be kept? As long as they need to. They have my freaking DNA from 1990. The Pimp song. I forgot about it. In the past, you have cautioned about getting all worked up in the RSA report. Do you think it should be more reliable? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It should be, but we'll wait and see. Constable, big placard on a leader who died digging in like a grave. Yeah. I was amused that the media talks as if only boomers and millennials exist. Gen X completely skipped. That's a good point, Light Rain. They do tend to skip it. Well, there's no news in the midterms. They're in November. A long way, too. They rode to get there. Any news? Okay, so... 3 cases. My daughter could fly soon. No, 2 cases not going anywhere. Case administrative hold. It means it's on administrative hold. There's a logjam somewhere. EFF is calling for Trump. What is that on? Is that on Twitter, Amanda? Where do you see that at? On Twitter? Has that been on Twitter? I'll go to EFF and see if that's where it's at. EFF. Where's that at? Where are they calling on Trump to be? Well, Karen, I was very much under the weather when I did that interview. It was tough for me to focus that day. Ruptured your Achilles. That sucks. That's going to take some time off. Peter Bloodlust, 35 Rand. Can't wait to meet you in person. Really hope you get well soon. So do I. Really hope I get well soon, too. This is very good news. Is if it was going to happen, this is a good time for it to happen. I did the Pittsburgh trip already, which is where I might have picked up the pathogen. And it's before my war college consulting. So 2 hours shows you how the time flies when you watch Colonel's videos. I get so involved, forgot about everything around me. It explains Miss Cutman has to cut my call 4 times. I'll call your names 4 times. Amanda, you're not telling me anything. What about report? What do you mean reported? You're telling me anything. What's reported? What on my Facebook? There's nothing on my Facebook. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what you're talking about. There's nothing I can post on my Facebook. It's there. It's there. I don't know what you're talking about. You get notified if your checks get expired. No, your medical is 6 months. They'll reschedule you. They can't get you out unless you have current medical. Simple as that. Yep, that's how it works. Simple as that. That I can guarantee. Okay, send me the screenshot. I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing on my Facebook. I don't know what you're talking about. Someone's probably playing games. Everything's there. Everything's there. That's why I never used Facebook. No, everything's there. No, it's there. Colonel, I just want to say that you have a massive support on Facebook. My wife saw someone taking crap about you, and the comments basically told them to F off. A lot of people love you. Well, thank you for that. Well, that's why I started putting on Facebook, because I know a lot of people aren't coming to YouTube, and people keep telling me that there's a lot of South Africans on there, so I finally started using it. I created a few years ago, and nothing happened, never went anywhere. So, yeah. It's a fake profile page. It's not me. Yeah. That's probably what it is. There's probably a fake profile page. Okay, Corey sent it. Let me go look and see what she's talking about here real quickly. Let me get to the mail. Okay, email. Corey sent it. Hopefully it's arrived already. Not here yet. Not here yet. Did you send it WhatsApp? I assume you sent it by email. I thought you said email. Okay, no, not there yet. There it is. Okay, got it. No, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's not my account. This is not me. Page deletion, intellectual property infringement, content may have violated copyright or trademark regulations. Community standards page not comply. That's not my page. I don't know what that is. That sounds like some nonsense is happening there, Corey. That's not no. No, that's thank you, Corey. Sorry, I didn't mean to show that picture. No, there's nothing. Here's okay, so first off, there is no Colonel Chris Wyatt page, if that's what you're going to. The name of the page is that, but that's not the destination. So if someone went to something called that, yeah, that's where I have 9,800 followers. Yeah, that's right. But here, I'll show you the page. It's live. Here, look. There it is. 9,800 followers. 42 following. There you go. We'll post something on here. Okay, hang on a second. Yep, we'll post something on here. Thank you for the 140 Rand, Elise. So, yep, let me just post something. Let me see. What can I post here? If I got anything, I'll just post a picture of South Africa. Let me do that, okay? I'll do it real quick here. I'll just do a picture of South Africa, and then 2023. 2022. Let's go there. 2022. We're going to look at August, September. Such a beautiful country. Okay, let's see. Oh, I need bigger pictures. Those are too small. View extra large icons. There we go. Now I can see. All right. Oh, I can't show those. Those are, I was promised not to show those. Okay. Let me see. South Africa, Cape Town. Find one here that's just an appropriate picture to show. Yeah, this will work. Here we go. So you'll see that I'm posting on it right now. So such a beautiful country. Okay, so typing's bad there. Corruption and such a beautiful country, South Africa. Hopefully it can recover from all the corruption and crime plaguing black, white, and brown South Africans. Post it. And there it is. See that? Corey, I'm not sure what you're getting. It sounds like maybe you're not, something's right. Thank you, Benjamin. Yeah, so there. See that? I just posted on the channel. It's there. It's post Martin, the Facebook page is pinned at the top of the chat. Should be at the top of the chat if you go there. Did I not pin it? I thought I pinned it earlier in the stream. It is. It's pinned at the top of the chat. Facebook link is there. So, yep. No, the Facebook page it's there. So, it's there. Mix it with pictures. That's funny. All right. Thank you for the live stream. One big stress off my back was a friend who was due cancer, won't be coming home, asked for help. She's going to a home, but managed to get friends who can run a no-kill sanctuary. Oh, card. Still 31 by us. What's that? Temperature? Review area. I don't know. Look under my reviews. Reviews. Where are reviews at? Okay. I don't even see reviews. Doesn't show reviews. Where are reviews? Yeah, scammers copy a popular page's face, post, make a fake count, looks real, then they try to message people, comment with links. Exactly. Yeah, but I don't see any reviews here. There were reviews the other day. I don't see it now, but where the hell are reviews at? I mean, it doesn't show up on this. I don't want this managed page too. That's kind of one of the frustrating things with this. Anyway. Yeah, published 2 minutes ago. Fake video out of Iran with a fake B-52 on a truck. You're welcome, Manny. Well, my Facebook account has had two-factor authentication for a very long time because I never trusted Facebook. Yeah, it's phishing crap. Never open the spam link. Yep. Nah, that's fake stuff, folks. Just go to the channel. Just go to the link. Don't see any reviews. Anyway, thanks for that. Yeah, no, it's fake. It's just another. It's not on the Facebook channel, Werner. Okay, it's under the About tab. Okay, thank you. Reviews. That's just fake. I can't delete that either. No, that's fake. Guys, that's fake. Just ignore that. That's from the leftists are attacking my channel, trying to get you to not watch it. Just ignore that. Review is on the top next to mentions unless they report it under my view. No. It's what it's saying. What it's saying here is it's saying that your profile is unriskable. See some issues why. Recommends. I don't recommend anything. That's just bogus. Can I delete that? All right, I've just reported both of them. So they're just fake. It's what that is. So guys, that's fake. But thank you for letting me know, Corey. I didn't know about that. So it shows you that they're out there, the Joran Fundus Lutz. They're trying everything they can to undermine my content. Since I hadn't used the Facebook channel a long time, you won't see it now. It should be gone now. It should be hidden. I just reported both. The guy asking for email address. Not sure if a non-mod can type email address. No, a non-mod can't type it. Mods can post the email address in here, though. Sorry, Corey. You shouldn't have mentioned that. I just kind of skipped over it. So you mentioned that. I can go back and hide this stream afterwards. Okay. Sorry about that. You didn't mention that you commented on it. You said the screen was blocked, so I posted it. Yeah, they're trolls. Yeah, they are trolls. That's what they are. So I've just deleted them. So don't worry about that. These are people who play their games. So I'll turn the chat off after this is done, Corey. Okay. So don't worry about that, and then people won't be able to replay it. Okay. So, but you got to warn me. Okay. Oh, it's okay. All right. If you're okay with it, that's fine. You sure? If you're sure, let me know. Okay. Anyway, yeah, those were trolls. Accepting friends requests on Facebook. I never accept friend requests. My wife tattooed on my calf Olive, and she has a portrait of me on her calf Popeye. Okay, Martin, thanks for sharing that. That's a little too much information, but thank you for that. Anyway, what does Mark Zuckerberg do with all his accounts and deceased people? He's an odd fellow. It's a good question. What does YouTube do with deceased accounts? We know we have people who've passed away on YouTube. I got a recommendation the other day to watch Gareth Mason. Gareth has been dead for a couple of years. 3 years now, I think it is. Yeah, a recommendation for his video. I don't know if somebody's maintaining his page. Facebook wants you to verify your account as a real Colonel Chris Wyatt, but then you must pay monthly. See, that's just fake. Yeah, well, we noticed the first time I started noticing all the despicable people copying my content is on Telegram groups. They were trying that crap. Then Facebook, and then WhatsApp groups, and then they tried this stuff. All right, guys, people making fake profiles. Let's go and wrap it up. It's been 2.5 hours. We've had over 7,000 people tune in for this live stream. We got 400 people still here. We've got a little bit of nice super chat revenue coming in. Thank you all for the super chats, Alan Gill, and all others who sent, Debbie Fox, everyone else who did a super chat. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. So email in the third. Okay, Anton, I will try to get to it, but I'm going to go rest now. Okay, thank you all so much. God bless. Thanks for being here. Hey, Matties, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys being here, and I'm still around. I only really took one show off. If you realize it, I had to work yesterday, so I didn't get the rest, and I wouldn't have been able to broadcast anyway because of the veterans events, which ran all day long. So yeah, I really took one day off, and that was last night's Night Owls, and it was just one show. So I'm back. I'll do a show tonight. Golden coins, will I be allowed to bring with it? Yeah, you can bring coins. Yeah, of course you can. Up to $10,000, you don't have to declare anything above that. You got to declare. All right, $10,000 in U.S. currency value. You can bring it to the country. Thank you guys so much, and be well, and take care. Thanks for being here. Always a pleasure. Sorry for the coughing with the microphone being turned on, but it wasn't on, but it was on at the beginning of the show. Anyway, you guys take care. It's always a distinct pleasure to have my audience join me, and I hope you got something useful out of today. And don't forget, we should see people right now boarded planes about to depart from either Cape Town or Joburg en route to the United States tonight. If that, in fact, is the case, we get confirmation, I'll let you know. But that's what's supposed to happen tonight. Cheers, everybody.